What's up, everybody? Good morning and a happy Thursday to you all. DK Show coming to you from the TDS Sports Talk studios this morning. Appreciate you tuning in and making us a part of your start if you are already up and at it, whether it's on the radio dials, 105.1 FM, 790 AM, online, stream it up at sportstalk1051.com, WAYYradio.com. Got your app, download it, take it on the go. Got the video stream also up and rolling on YouTube, Man Cave TV. Your Alexa and Google devices, got that over there too. So multiple different ways for you to be tuning in here this morning. What do we have on our game plan this morning? We got a busy game plan here. Get the brooms out as the crew sweeping the Cubbies last night. A 5-0 victory for the Brew Crew, led behind an absolutely stellar performance from Kyle Harrison, going 7 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs, 11 Ks for the young pitcher, improving to 5-1 and lowering his season ERA to a 1.77. How do you follow up an epic performance from Jacob Mizorowski? Kyle Harrison just did that yesterday. So Brewers improving to a 29-18 on the season, in first place in the division and sweeping the Cubbies in Wrigley Field for the first time since 2021. Lots to recap from this series, yesterday's game and such. Got the off day today for the Brewers before returning home for a big series against the Dodgers this weekend. But this was from Kurt Hogg. Here's a couple of nuggets about the Brewers and Kyle Harrison and such. Kurt Hogg, who covers the Brewers for the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, only pitcher with a lower ERA than Kyle Harrison through his first 9 starts with the Brewers is CC Sabathia, who had a 1.60 ERA with 5 complete games and 2 shutouts in 2008. That's pretty darn good company right now for Kyle Harrison. But the Brewers, with that sweep, Bob Nightingale had posted combined score of 19-5, outscoring the Cubbies, served a subtle reminder that the NL Central title still goes through Milwaukee. So lots, again, to chat and recap about this series and last night's game and such. You had David Hamilton with the Little League home run with a lazy play by Pete Carroll Armstrong last night. And then David Hamilton with a triple as well. So, I mean, the Red Sox acquisitions of Hamilton and Kyle Harrison and Shane Drowan, they were the Cubs' worst nightmare this series. So we'll see if the Brewers can continue to keep on this hot streak as they welcome the Dodgers here starting tomorrow. Also on the docket here this morning, it is a little Takeover Thursday. So if you've got a topic in mind, send it on over. All right, text us on that Shoe Doctors bullpen line at 715-830-1912. Or you can join us on the Section 105 chat on YouTube. Also, we're going to, on our usual Thursday, catch up with Jake Boakes at 8 Thursday for our Tailgate Outdoors segment. So if you have a question for our DNR Warden buddy, please text them on over so we can get those over to him. And then after that, as we kick off the Eau Claire Express season, usually we'll chat with them on Mondays, but with Monday being Memorial Day, we're going to catch up with them today at 9 o'clock, and we'll chat with owner Craig Toyson as we get set for the Eau Claire Express season, which begins next week, early next week, Monday. So it's coming right around the corner here. So get ready for some even more baseball at Carson Park. We've had baseball at Carson Park between high school and Chippewa River Baseball League and such, but the Express will return to the field coming up on Monday. So Craig will be joining us around 9 o'clock here this morning. Also, it is a Enough is Enough Thursday. What's the sports narrative? What's the sports take? What's the sports story out there where you're just like, enough is enough? Send those on over to us as well. One question I kind of want to throw out as maybe an informal poll question, feedback sort of thing. So yesterday, Aaron Charles Rodgers saying that this is in fact going to be his final year in the NFL. So you get a little bit of a farewell tour here. He talked to the media yesterday. I want to ask you, Packers fans, with knowing that this is Rodgers' final year of playing in the NFL, are you maybe more likely maybe going to tune in a little bit more or follow the Steelers or Rodgers a little bit more this year just because it is Rodgers' final year? Or does it really not matter to you? What say you? All right, I'm kind of curious to get a gauge from Packers fans and such. So let me know or let us know. All right, send those on over too. In terms of playoffs going on, the Thunder last night in the NBA playoffs, they evened up that series with a 122-113 victory. And then in the Stanley Cup playoffs, the Vegas Golden Knights taking down Colorado 4-2 to take a 1-0 lead in that series. So that's kind of your game plan for us this morning. Lots of baseball talk, lots of Brewers talk here this morning, coming off of a series sweep against the Chicago Cubs. And that's where we're going to lead things off here this morning. So we'll take our first break, and then we'll get started here with the leadoff. Talk a little Kyle Harrison and his epic performance from last night. This overall series from the Brewers, who are now 29-18 on the season. When you take a look at where things are at in this loaded NL Central, the Brewers holding on to a 1.5-game lead over the Cardinals and the Cubs, but a ton of games left to be played yet this season. But no question about it, right now the Brewers are playing some really good baseball, and they're playing against some really good competition and winning these ball games too. So let's talk some Brewers. Let's talk some baseball as we open up things here this morning. We'll take our first break. We got intern Carter joining us, and we'll get the leadoff. We'll get going with the leadoff coming up after these quick words. Whether you are chasing a championship or you're just trying to stay active, your body deserves the best care. And at Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, they help athletes and non-athletes alike get back to doing what they love. From sports injuries and joint pain to everyday aches, their expert team is here with personalized care every step of the way. So no matter your level of activity, you do not have to sit on the sidelines. Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, helping you move better, to feel better, and to live better. Let's say good morning to on that mic. Good morning to our graduates, Mr. Intern Carter. How are you, sir?
Pretty good.
Yeah. How was the party? I got something for you coming. Don't worry, I didn't forget about you.
It was long. A lot of people.
Yeah. I suppose.
People. A lot of people.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Did you get kicked out of the house now that you're done with high school yet?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Not yet.
All right. So, ready to talk a little Brewers this morning, dude?
That was a fun series.
Yeah. Fly the L, baby. Fly the L. Fly the loss tag. I'm going to start it off with my enough is enough. When is enough about, because I saw somebody on MLB Network, and I'm blanking on a name right now. When do we stop saying, like, the Brewers are a fun story? When's enough is enough that we just kind of say this is the standard, that every year the standard is to be a playoff team, to win division championships? Because I still feel maybe it's more of a national thing, but maybe that's where it's got to change. When does that narrative stop that, oh, the Brewers are doing it again? When does that just become the standard with this team?
Yeah, I think it should have stopped already, and I think it's year in and year out, it's weird that we get overlooked so much by just the MLB, but I think it's also the identity of this team, where Pat Murphy is the manager that's going to tell his guys that they are being overlooked, and that's why they're winning games. So you almost need to have the expectation to win games, but you can't lose that mentality of, everyone's still looking down on you.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, I think part of it too is they're doing it in ways you're not supposed to be doing it, right? That's not the way you're supposed to do it in baseball. You're supposed to do it, with high-priced talent or home runs and, veterans. I mean, they've got these young guys that are contributing and such, and I know, Pat Murphy still likes to say we got a bunch of nobodies and such, but all right, if that's the case, and I do think from a national perspective, that there's a lot of people who probably can't name a lot of Brewers outside of maybe Jacob Mizorowski and Christian Yelich and Jackson Chourio, and I think Bryce Terang would be up there, and I would think Contreras would be up there and such, but I think, enough's enough with this, and that's maybe more so from a fan base, from a Brewers fan base. Should this just be the expectation? Kind of, I don't want to make a direct comparison, but kind of we have that with Green Bay, right? Like the expectation every year is to be a playoff team and to compete for championships. I get that the Brewers haven't won a championship yet, which is different from Green Bay in that essence, but why can't we have that same expectation?
I do think it's just a little different because of how much money the Cubs spend compared to the Brewers, and their roster just on paper comparatively, because baseball's roster changes so much. And every year the Brewers lose their best player. But you're right. I mean, year in, year out, we win games and we're competing for the Central. So eventually it just needs to become the standard.
Yeah. It's almost kind of, I compare the Brewers and Tampa Bay somewhat. Now the difference is Tampa Bay's actually been to a World Series and a couple World Series and such. But even like Tampa Bay this year so far, when we were looking at the AL East, it was Yankees. Toronto was in the World Series last year. Everybody thought Boston was going to be better. Everybody thought Baltimore was going to be a contender because they bring in Pete Alonso and some stuff, and just kind of overlooked Tampa Bay again. And you look at who's first in that division by 4 games, it's the Tampa Bay Rays again. And they go about it very similar to the Brewers in terms of payroll and such. But I you just go back, a large sample size between the Brewers. We mentioned CC Sabathia in a comparison to Kyle Harrison. You go back to 2008 and that. I think that's for me. I got to do a better job, I think, from it as a fan too. Is maybe this is the standard going forward. Is that every year, bare minimum, it should be playoffs for this team. Bare minimum, and you hope to be put in a position that you are going to compete for championships. And I get that, that is one of the biggest questions surrounding this Brewers team, and it has been for the last few years. Does the model work in the postseason? They win a lot of regular season games, but does the model work in the postseason? And so far, they haven't gotten over that hump to get to a World Series. They've gotten to league championships, but they haven't been able to get over that hurdle.
And that's good. I mean, they can't hit home runs, and that's what wins in the postseason. But I think as a regular season team, the expectation should be playoffs every year.
Mm-hmm.
And again, you don't want to lose the underdog mentality. That this Brewers team shouldn't, because they are, on paper, not as good of a team as a lot of teams, but they just keep winning. So, right, as fans, it's like at some point you're supposed to win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think, that's the other part, too, that could help this Brewers team continue is if they keep that underdog mentality. And I think as long as they build the way that they do, with the smaller payroll and such, it's just going to kind of inadvertently always be there, right? I mean, you look at the top payrolls, it is the Phillies, it is the Yankees, it is the Mets, it is, the Dodgers and the Cubs and all those guys. So if you're going to be consistently like top or bottom 5, bottom 10 in payroll, I think you're going to always kind of have that title of underdog, right? Because you don't have some of the highest paid players and such. And even so with this payroll, that's with Yelich's decent contract. Jackson Churio, has that extension. Now they got Cooper Pratt kind of locked up, who's not even on the major league roster yet. So it's, I was thinking about it after the game last night, and I saw that, that quote from MLB Network. I'm like, I think it's a good point. Like, I think it's more from a national sense, because I think before the beginning of the season, we were doing predictions and such. A lot of Brewers fans were like, yeah, everybody's overlooking Brewers again. And I think it's more from a national side of things that they just continue to overlook them. And it's because they don't do it the way that you're supposed to. You're supposed to go out there and sign big free agents. And I think it's more of an unsure thing when they bring in, like this year, a lot of younger, unproven players. Nobody predicted Kyle Harrison to be doing what he's doing right now. Jacob Mizorowski, I think, is even pitching better than what people expected heading into year 2. And then you got Bryce Terang, who is taking another step, this year from an offensive standpoint. You're getting production from this bullpen of like a Chad Patrick or Shane Drowan and Brand, all these guys. Everybody else from a national side will pick what's almost a for sure thing. Well, we know more of the players on the Cubs. We know these players, they're veterans and such. They don't want to pick a team that they don't know anything about. And now, Brewers knew exactly what they probably had. They put a lot of confidence and empowered a lot of these youngsters, and we're seeing the fruits of their labor, at least in the early parts of this season.
And again, I mean, they traded Peralta, right? They traded Durbin, and they still have struggled to score runs this year. To start, they've been better recently, but they've just, again, like you said, the pitching staff has just been so good. I mean, anchored down by, obviously everybody predicted Aaron Ashby and Shane Drowan were going to be the best relievers in baseball, but it's interesting because this isn't really how they won last year.
Mm-hmm.
Last year was a lot of runs early in the year, didn't rely on pitching as much, where this year they're relying on pitching a lot early and not scoring a lot of runs, but at the same time, they're winning a lot right now.
Well, they're top 10 and like 7 right now in runs scored, but they're dead last in home runs, which is the weird thing about this, because if you look at, so Washington, Atlanta, Dodgers, Yankees, Chicago, Pirates, top 6 in runs, and then when you go to home runs, it's Yankees, Atlanta, White Sox, Dodgers, Reds, Phillies, Nationals are on there. So it's interesting to see that how do I want to say this? Complete opposite end of the spectrum, right? I mean, they're dead last. They've only hit 33 home runs. Kyle Schwarber's already got 20 for crying out loud. It's the Yankees have 73. They've got 40 more home runs than what the Brewers have this year. And it's It's small ball. Again, you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to bunt. You're not supposed to move runners over because analytics, right? That's that whole thing. And they're just brought in a little bit of an old school mentality to this thing.
And they just took 2 of 3 from the Yankees. So
yeah, exactly.
Tells you something. But that's why David Hamilton fits perfectly on this team. That's why Ortiz can stay at shortstop, is because they'll do the little things that this team needs. I mean, we didn't have a ton of hits yesterday, but Hamilton went 3 for 4. And in a day where, in a year where our bottom of the lineup has not delivered, all you need is one game and one win. And you got it last night.
Yep. Yeah. The triple, the Little League home run. Every Little League coach should play a clip of Pete Crow Armstrong, and just, after the game he said, it wasn't a lack of effort. It looked like it. It sure looked like. And then even like just kind of initially jogging back to go get it. It's like wrong person to do that to with David Hamilton running the bases and such. So, but I love Little League home runs and that. But no, I know there's going to be, people kind of poo-pooing on this and saying it's still May. Here's the thing, though. Sports is such a wave of emotions, especially baseball with 162 games. More times than not, as a sports fan, you're probably going to be disappointed because there's only one team that wins it all at the end. So when you have good moments and you're going through good stretches, embrace it and enjoy it. And that's exactly what the Brewers are doing right now, because there's probably going to be streaks where they're going to be a little bit down, right? I mean, that odds are it's going to be the case. And they're coming off of a sweep of the Yankees, sweep of the Cubs, literally inches away from sweeping the Padres. They took 2 out of 3 against the Twinnies. They've got the Dodgers coming to town, and the Brewers are playing some great baseball right now. Don't apologize for being pumped about your Brewers team, even though it is just May 21st.
And I think it's like how they're winning almost. Like, again, you said it, the Cubs. I mean, whenever we beat the Cubs, I'll be happy. But Jacob Misiorowski has dominated at a pace we haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah.
And so that's been fun to watch. I mean, Kyle Harrison with him makes up one of the best 1-2 punches in the MLB right now.
Yeah.
And again, this team, even though they don't hit home runs, they're still a fun offensive team to watch. So on a day-to-day basis, I watch the Brewers, whereas it's hard to watch the Yankees or the Dodgers, I bet, sometimes, because they're so reliant on the home run ball.
Yeah. What Kyle Harrison, I mean, that acquisition of him, and again, I get it, it's still early in his career, but we're going to look at this trade, even with Shane Drouin, who has been awesome coming out of the pen too. Heck, Hamilton now, even just bunting, if he gets on, he turns that almost into a double. Not many players can turn a bunt into a double because of his threat to steal. I'm curious in a couple years, looking back at this trade and seeing where everything's at still. Like, if Kyle Harrison is going to be a premier pitcher, and I know I'm not ready to say that, but if he's going to be between him and Misiorowski, one of the top duos in Major League Baseball for the next few years, what the heck were the Red Sox or even the Giants thinking, moving on from this guy? And again, I think it's another feather in the cap and a tip of the cap to Chris Hook, Jim Henderson, and that entire pitching group that the Brewers have.
I think it's funny because if you would have just straight swapped David Hamilton for Caleb Durbin, you'd be winning the trade right now.
That's true. When you look at numbers and that, yeah.
How bad Durbin's been, and David Hamilton's not been great, but he's been average. And then you add in a number 2 starting pitcher and a second best relief arm, they've straight up fleeced the Red Sox.
Yeah, 100% right now. It's amazing, and I love how quick Kyle Harrison moves. It's to go from Misiorowski, and it's not to say that Kyle Harrison has a slow fastball. It's just when you go from like 102, 103 to 96, 97, there's a little bit of a difference there. And just how quick he goes about things and his movements. He is such a fun pitcher to watch out there on the mound. And for a younger guy, and that's where yesterday I was kind of talking about, I was curious to see how he was going to handle the moment. At Wrigley Field, your team has a chance to sweep your division rival and stay in first place. Pressure was probably there because you knew the Cubs would probably want to come out a little bit more aggressive and such. Dude didn't look like it. And I think part of it, too, is the fact that you have a guy like Contreras back there that can handle that young pitching staff is so invaluable to this team.
And, I mean, the length you're getting out of the starters.
Yeah.
You know, we have several arms in the bullpen who can go multiple innings. But right now, like, Mizorowski's throwing 6 or 7 innings every time. Harrison's throwing 6 or 7 innings every time. And they just continue to dominate. It's incredible to watch.
And this bullpen right now is so fresh, I would imagine. I mean, D.L. Hall was the only guy that came out of the pen last night, and he pitched 2 innings. This bullpen has got to be, and then you have the off day today, all hands on deck for this Dodgers series, I would imagine. Mm-hmm. And to be able to say that and look at last year, just from a compare, like how much a year difference makes. I think it was at this point last year, we're like, man, this pitching staff, the bullpen starters, they're getting used a lot. There's a lot of wear and tear on this thing. This was a good series. You know, I know he had a little bit of a hiccup, but, you know, maybe take a step back from Aaron Ashby to rest up a little bit and some of these guys. It's not – when you go into Wrigley Field and you're going up against the Cubs team with that offense and you've barely used your bullpen besides maybe one game with – even Chad Patrick only pitched like a third of an inning or 2/3 of an inning, and you sweep them, you've had yourself a good day at the ballpark or a good series at the ballpark. You know what I love to see, too, in Major League Baseball? Look at the standings. And, again, I know it's May 21st, especially in the AL. Tampa Bay, first place. Cleveland, first place. A's, first place. 3 teams that are towards the bottom in MLB payrolls. And then you look at the NL, Brewers, first place. But then you have the Braves and Dodgers. But still, 4 of the 6 division leaders right now on May 21st are towards like the bottom 10 in payroll in Major League Baseball. I love it. I love seeing that. You know, but that is going to be, I will say this, if that plays out for the rest of the year, if that plays out the rest of the year, that is going to be the worst argument for having a salary cap in baseball. Mm-hmm. Because those teams, those high-paid teams will say, well, look at, Tampa Bay won the division, Cleveland won the division, the Athletics and the Brewers, 4 of the 6 division champs are all towards the bottom in payroll. So where's that balance?
I think the Brewers kind of provided the blueprint a little bit for these teams where, I mean, the Guardians just traded for an all-star catcher.
Yep.
So they've got their Contreras who can call pitches, who can get outs. And, I mean, again, like you said, they're all in first place, so it's got to be working.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, I remember watching a Sunday Night Baseball game last year with the Cardinals on there, and they had I think it was the Cardinals GM, and he name-dropped the Brewers and said, we got to kind of emulate them. Well, I think this year they're doing better than what they expected, to begin the year. But the Cardinals have a little bit more money to spend too than the Brewers do. So, but all right, we got to take a quick break. One question I did throw out there, we'll get to this probably in the next hour because we got lots of baseball talk here. With Aaron Rodgers announcing yesterday that this will be his final year, Packers fans, are you going to maybe pay attention to some more Steelers games this year just to see the final run of Aaron Rodgers? Surveyor says, similar to Brady's final years, I'm going to try and watch as much Steelers football as I can. No matter how you feel about Rodgers, the person, you have to admit he is arguably one of the top 5 quarterbacks to ever play the game, and by far and away the greatest thrower of the football. It's also the end of an era. So long are the old boys, Roethlisberger, Breeze, Brady, Manning, Rivers, and now Rodgers. It's the end of a chapter in the story of the NFL of what can be considered the era of the quarterback. Rando says, Rodgers, I'll watch a little more just to see how good of a season he is having, unless something happens to the Pack with injuries. So, and then C-Bomb on the video chat early this morning saying, awesome sweep. All right, let's take a quick break. Back with plenty more coming up after these quick words. Summer is almost here, and that means it is time to hit the road in something that you love. And at Toyson Ford, you will find a great selection of new and pre-owned vehicles ready for every adventure. Looking for power, comfort, reliability? Hey, they've got it all, backed by a team that's committed to making your car buying experience easy and stress-free. So whether it's a weekend getaway or your daily drive, make sure you are riding in style this summer. Toyson Ford in Chippewa Falls, where your next journey begins. All right. Continuing to talk some more baseball. Brew Crew after the Crew sweeping the Chicago Cubs yesterday. Should the narrative be changed? Should the expectations be changed when it comes to this Brew Crew? I know it's just it's a little bit of a recency thing and such, but I mean, should we expect every year that this is Brewers, the expectation should be playoffs. The goal should be playoffs. The bare minimum should be playoffs every single year. Rando says, I'm now expecting the Brewers to get to the playoffs every year. They could take analytics and stick it where the sun don't shine. I feel the Brewers can win in the playoffs if their pitchers keep pitching the way they are. So we talk about, the Brewers don't hit home runs. They don't. They don't. And we talk about, is that one of the biggest recipes for success when it comes to the postseason? But what about, so say the Brewers face the Dodgers in the postseason or these top home run hitting teams in that. What do the Brewers do really well when it comes to home runs? They don't allow a lot of them either. They're when you look at their pitching staff, and we kind of saw that against, the Yankees in that series, right? Though Judge did hit that one, which I was okay with because then my kid got to see it. But from a pitching standpoint, you look at the amount of home runs that this team has given up. They've only given up 35 home runs. Now, to counter that, the Yankees are next to them too at 39. So the Yankees hit a ton of home runs, but they don't give up a ton of home runs too. But that's the American League. We don't have to worry about that, right? So that, to me, if this is a trend that continues throughout this season, and let's say we get to the postseason, and the Brewers are dead last in hitting home runs, but they are tops in not allowing home runs, that's going to be kind of an interesting thing to see how it plays out in the postseason.
It definitely will be. I will say, just looking at their stats a little bit, they were pretty low last year going into the postseason, and I feel like on paper they had a better team last year, and then they got swept by the Dodgers. Now, of course, you have Mizurowski pitching at an incredible rate right now. So if he and Harrison can just continue what they're doing, it'll be an excellent series to watch if they do get to face the Dodgers. But I think teams like the Dodgers and teams like the Yankees, I see it especially in the Dodgers. They're going to play hard in the regular season, but they really don't care.
They're the Spurs back in the day where the Spurs kind of coasted through the regular season with Tim Duncan and Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, and then it's like they turned it on in the postseason.
And I think you saw that last year where the Brewers swept them 2 series in a row. They went 6-0 against the Dodgers last year, and then we got to the playoffs, and we got swept by them. Didn't even get a win, and it wasn't really that close. And so I don't necessarily think that it's going to be any different this year. Necessarily. It might be a little early. I'm going to throw this out there. When we look at the pitching staff as a group for the Brewers compared to last year, what's the differences here? No Freddie Peralta. You take Freddie Peralta off. You got Kyle Harrison on here. No Jose Quintana. Jose was on the roster last year. No Jose this year. And you look at even the bullpen and such. Let's assume Brandon Woodruff's healthy when he comes back. Do you have more confidence with this pitching group than you did last year compared to last year's pitching group? You still got McGill, Uribe at the back end. Let's assume Chad Patrick's going to be more in the bullpen like he was in the postseason last year. You got Shane Druin. You got Brandon Sproat mixed in there. Maybe Logan Henderson, Coleman Crowe, who we've seen a couple more times now too. So looking at this group compared to I'm not counting Quinn Priester for this year because I don't know if he's going to be a contributor at all at this point.
I honestly, my arrow kind of moves towards I might like the pitching this year a little bit better.
As of right now, I think so, just because of what Mizorowski's done. I mean, he's a top 3 pitcher in the NL and a top 5 pitcher in the MLB. So, and then you had Kyle Harrison on top of that. He's really good. And I think this may be a hot take, but what Brandon Sproat's giving you is a lot of what you got from Peralta last year. 4 or 5 innings, 2 or 3 runs.
Yeah.
And he's your 3rd or 4th starter. And so when you couple that with your top 2 starters, that's a rotation that's going to play, especially in the postseason.
When you throw in Mizorowski, Kyle Harrison, and let's assume, and I know for some it might be a big assumption, when Brandon Woodruff comes back, Brandon Woodruff will be just Brandon Woodruff. You throw those 3 in there. Let's throw Logan Henderson as the 4th starter, and then Brandon Sproat. And with Brandon Sproat and Logan Henderson, I like the example that Pat Murphy kind of used earlier in the week. It's kind of like A-ball, where you have a little bit of a tandem with the younger pitchers, with Sproat, and then Chad Patrick comes in, or Logan Henderson, then Chad Patrick. That'll play. And then you look at, like an Aaron Ashby, a DL Hall. Whenever Jared Koenig does come back and such, your bullpen are guys that can go 2, 3, 4 innings, which is really unique. That not a lot of bullpens have that. And then you have 2 legit closers with Trevor McGill and Abner Uribe.
Yeah. And I do think that is big for this team, the ability to have relievers who can go link the innings, because you saw Brandon Sproat struggle to start early in this year, and Ashby and Hall were able to pick him up. And you also have Patrick in the bullpen who can go far, but if Sproat or even Harrison or Mizorowski get in a tough spot in the postseason, you can throw one of those guys and be confident, because Patrick was one of your best postseason pitchers last year.
Yep.
Ashby's one of your best pitchers this year. So you can have the confidence that they're going to go shut the team down.
And, if one of the issues is for those younger pitchers is that 3rd time through that rotation, you don't have to put them through that. They can go through it a couple times, and then you go to the bullpen and hand the ball off to a guy that can give you multiple innings. What Chad Patrick did last weekend against the Twins, for his first career save. Yeah. I mean, how many other ball clubs out there right now, even, you can throw 2 pitchers in a game, and that's it. Is that the new complete game in Major League Baseball, is 2 pitchers? You said that, I kind of tongue-in-cheek, but, I mean, complete games are becoming more rare and rare. It's like, oh, maybe it's the 2-pitcher complete game at this point. So, and
then the first game against the Cubs, Sproat and Drowan.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
right? So it's a really fun ball club to watch at this point. Like Jake Bauers, you got to keep that guy in the lineup.
Yes.
You may suffer a little bit defensively, but he is giving you hits and he is producing. You got to keep him in that line. Maybe it's by, no accident, but when Cheerio and Vaughn and Yelich all came back, it's like everything just kind of settled down a little bit. And everything's like, okay, we got everybody back. We can relax a little bit, go out there and play baseball. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's by accident or not, but you can look at that parallels and see when those guys returned, everything just kind of settled down a little bit.
And I think they are producing at the plate, Cheerio and Vaughn and Yelich, but I think more of it is they're just protecting players now. Mm-hmm. Because before, you can walk Bryce Terang because you've got Joey Ortiz coming up or Rengifo coming up. 1 to 4 we were good, 5 to 9 we weren't. And then now you get Cheerio and Yelich and Vaughn back, and now 1 to 7 you're good, and 7 to 9 you're not, but you're protecting some of those players to where now they're going to see a challenge fastball.
If your top 6 are Cheerio, Terang, Contreras, Yelich, Vaughn, Bowers, mm-hmm. I'm good with those top 6.
Yeah. And Sal Frelick's down at the end, and I'm still fine with Sal Frelick.
Yep.
So I think that makes a talented roster.
Yep, I would agree. And then, when Hamilton is in there, he's not going to, get you a whole lot, but he is a threat to get on.
Yep. Even
if it is by the bunt, which I'm still a little surprised more teams aren't playing that when he's up there. I don't know. But all right, we got to take a really quick break because we're a little bit little bit behind here, but continue to send us your thoughts on the Brew Crew and such. We'll be right back after these quick words. With Memorial Day weekend upon us, if you've got some maybe backyard barbecues or get-togethers going, don't forget to get your supplies at our good friends at Hy-Vee in Eau Claire. Heck, they even got pork palooza going on. We're talking some bacon. We're talking some Midwest, Hy-Vee Midwest pork top loin chops, 10 for $10 on there. Heck yeah, man. So sausage, maybe make your own pizzas and such. They got pepperoni on sale, ham, all that good stuff there. So don't forget to always follow the Hy-Vee Facebook page, because they've got their flyers up there, their one-day sales, their 3-day sales that are going on. including their Memorial Day deals with a bunch of different stuff on their flyer. We're talking about even like salsa on sale. That's big in our house. Some trays, some food trays, if you're having some get-togethers and that. And it always helps out too at the pump. At the pump, you can save with some fuel perks too by shopping at Hy-Vee and then going to the Hy-Vee gas station right next to the store. Big thanks to Hy-Vee for letting us do the program there yesterday as they were doing their free breakfast for veterans and active military members. So it was a lot of fun yesterday, and thanks to a lot of you for stopping by and saying hi as well. So again, big thanks to Hy-Vee for doing that for all of our veterans and active military members. We just got a few minutes left until the top of the hour, so I am going to throw out one of our Takeover Thursday questions that we got from a listener named Garrett. And this is an interesting one, and I really want feedback from everybody on this. With, we were talking about pitching, right? And, Bizarowski going deep, Kyle Harrison even yesterday did too. I never thought of this before. And this actually came yesterday. And I'm like, I'm going to use that for today because that's a great Takeover Thursday question. With ABS, now in Major League Baseball, the automatic ball strike challenge system, are we ever going to see a perfect game anymore? With the challenges that are now out there, has that almost, I don't want to say 100%, but is it almost eliminated the possibility of a perfect game in Major League Baseball? So think about that for a little bit. Think about that. I thought it was a really interesting question, and I never thought of that. So your thoughts, hit us up, text it, send us a message, whatever you want to do. But that's one of our Takeover Thursday questions thrown out there. So also next hour, a few of you have already chimed in on this. Aaron Rodgers, I know he's with the Steelers. He's not with the Packers, but obviously he is a Packer, legendary Packer. He's going to have his name up on the facade, his number retired, and all that. He said yesterday this is his final year. This will be his final year of playing in the NFL. So with that being said, you as Packers fans, will you be maybe kind of just paying just a little bit more attention to the Steelers this year, paying a little bit more attention to Rodgers this year, knowing that this is his final year, knowing that he is done? And maybe for some of you, you're like, I don't believe him yet. It could be a little bit of that. But will you be paying attention just a little bit more, knowing that this is the final year for Rodgers? Yes or no? A lot of you already saying, yes, you are. But for those who have not chimed in yet, send it on over, okay? All right. Shot clock's going to cut me off in a minute. Continue to send us your Brewers thoughts. Brewers sweeping the Cubbies of Chicago. Brewers back in first place in the division, I should say, expanding their lead a little bit in the division. But off day today, a well-deserved off day for the Brewers as they get set to host the Dodgers in a 3-game series starting tomorrow. And then they got the Cardinals right after that too. So tough opponents continuing here for the Crew, but they've been winning these tough games here too. So we'll talk plenty more baseball coming up. We'll throw a little bit of that football chat in there. Send your questions in for Jake Boakes if you have anything for our DNR Warden Buddy. And then reminder at about 9 o'clock, shortly after 9 o'clock, we'll kick off our Express Summer Series as we, every week, we'll catch up with a member of the Eau Claire Express. And usually it'll be on Mondays, but with it being Memorial Day on Monday, owner Craig Toyson's going to be popping in here this morning to kick off that series as we get set for another summer of Eau Claire Express baseball. So, all right, shot clock's going to cut us off. We'll take our news updates and be back in just a couple minutes. Second hour kicking off right now on this Thursday morning. Thanks for making us a part of your start and waking up with us and joining in on the conversation as we are talking plenty of Brewers with the Brewers sweeping the Cubs yesterday. Thanks to Kyle Harrison and his dominant performance. David Hamilton with a Little League home run and then a triple. It was the former Red Sox that had themselves a series against the Chicago Cubbies. So plenty more baseball talk coming your way this morning. We also got Craig Toyson from the Express joining us about 2 hours from now. We'll catch up with Jake Bilks, our DNR Warden buddy, at 8:30 for our Tailgate Outdoors. So if you have a question, please text it over to us on that Shoe Doctors bullpen line at 715-830-1912. If you are interested in this too, so yesterday we talked with Ty from Slab Factory, and if you missed that convo, it is up on Man Cave Podcast. But obviously the story was, so Ty, he pulled a very rare Tom Brady autographed card. It is up at auction. The auction ends tonight. So if you want to follow along with it, it's up to $200K right now. $200K. If you listen to the interview, Ty would kind of negotiate between Fanatics and Golden to see which one was going to auction it, and they sent him insured envelope to send to him for $499,000. So that's kind of the price that maybe they're potentially thinking here. Wow. So it's still at $200,000 with 31 bids with just under 13 hours left to go. So be interesting to see how much this ends up for. But this little local guy, Ty from Slab Factory right on Claremont Avenue, is one of one card. So I'm curious to see where this thing be a life-changing thing, man. Holy moly, man. Pay off a lot of bills for that thing. But curious to see how that ends up playing out. He's got to be a nervous wreck, I would say, today. So, all right. Let's so we'll get to the ABS one. A lot of you saying, yes, you think ABS is going to limit or not have a perfect game so far or for the near future. I'll get to that here in a little bit, but I want to kick it off talking a little Rodgers, and I know he's not a part of the Packers and such, but yesterday he did announce that he is going to this is going to be his last year. He's done. Let me actually play the clip here from Aaron Rodgers yesterday from his press conference, audio courtesy from the NFL here.
Yeah, I love Mike T. I mean, I really appreciate the opportunity to come in last year and love my experience with him. And, I thought when he said he was stepping away, that was an emotional moment just because we all love him so much and care about him. And, I thought that that was probably it for me in Pittsburgh. But when the decision was made to hire Mike, I started opening my mind back up to coming back.
Could be your last year. Do you even think of that right now?
Yes. This is it. Yeah.
All right. So saying this is it for him this year. So the question that I want to throw out there, will you be maybe kind of possibly perhaps or not even going to pay a little bit more attention to Aaron Rodgers knowing this is the last run for him? Yay or nay? How about you, intern?
I kind of paid attention to him a little last year. I've always liked Aaron Rodgers. So I'll definitely watch whatever I can when I can, but I don't think I'll necessarily do it any more than like normal.
I think I will. And I think Surveyor kind of summed it up for me because, and maybe this is more of my generation era type of thing. When he was drafted, I was in college. I was my first year in college. And obviously I had Favre and Rodgers grew up with and that, but during my, shall we say, college youth, college tenure and early adulthood and that, Rodgers was the quarterback, obviously, Super Bowl 45 and a lot of good moments and that. So I think I've always approached these. I know if we've had these discussions about watching a player at the end of his year, is it must watch? Kobe, for me, I know that was a big one for a lot of people. There was a big debate. Are you going to pay the extra money to go watch Kobe at the end, even though he's not Kobe anymore? And that it's almost not to kind of make it morbid or thing. It's almost like a funeral where you're kind of saying your last goodbyes and watching it. A player that you probably watched for a long time, a high-level player, one of the better players of all time. You maybe kind of tune in one more time because you know you're not going to see him play anymore. So, honestly, I probably will just because, let's face it, 22, 23 years. I'll be 40 in a couple months, and this was maybe this was not a debate, but a conversation I had with somebody a few years ago who was the same age as me. Is Favre the quarterback of our generation, or is Rodgers the quarterback of our generation? And it obviously depends on age and that, because I remember Super Bowl 31. I was in 5th grade when Favre and Reggie White in that. But then Super Bowl 45, I was, how old was I? Anyways, I was a couple years out of college. A couple years out of college. So it's different age, different generations, right? And it's a good conversation to have, but regardless, it's kind of the end of an era too with those older quarterbacks, like Surveyor said, Brady, Roethlisberger, Rivers, Breeze, all those guys that were together with Rodgers, and he's kind of the last one standing now. So yeah, I honestly feel like I probably will be paying a little bit more attention. And I think the fact that Mike McCarthy is the head coach over there too, yeah, and if it doesn't affect the Packers, if it doesn't, get in their way of winning a Super Bowl or winning a championship, I do have a soft spot for the Steelers this year.
Yeah, I do think if the Packers can't get to the Super Bowl, I'll be totally fine if the Steelers win it. And I think, he's done so much for the Packers that it's only right to treat him well late in his career.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought he would come back. I'm glad he did. I kind of wanted to, like you said, a send-off, but it'll be interesting to watch how he plays at 42.
It will be. And I know probably as soon as this season is over with, a lot of Packers fans are probably going to ask the question, when's the number going to be retired? When's the name going to go up there? When's the ceremony? Because that'll be a hot ticket. When are they going to welcome Rodgers back to Green Bay, kind of like what they did with Brett, in that. And I don't know if it'll be a right away thing. It's a little bit of a different scenario between the Packers and Favre, because there was just this really bad breakup.
Mm-hmm.
It's different with this one. Rodgers has had nothing but positive things to say about Green Bay, positive things to say about Jordan Love. There's no drama between that. So I don't know if it would be fairly quick, kind of like what Brady and the Patriots was. It was pretty quick when Brady was done with the Buccaneers and that. We'll just wait and see. There's a lot of time yet to figure that thing out.
Do you think it would have been any different if Rodgers would have gone to the Vikings?
Oh, 100%. Or Bears or whatever, 100%. Any division team. Yes. Yep. No doubt. The fact that it's the AFC too,
mm-hmm.
Jets and the Steelers, yeah, it makes it a lot easier. Because if Rodgers would have suited up for Minnesota, let's say last year, and even if he still said all these positive things about Green Bay, it still would be, Packers fans would still be annoyed because, he'd be coming to Green Bay. Green Bay would be facing him twice. He'd have boo birds. It's the Vikings.
Sure.
It's kind of similar. It's not completely, but when Favre went to the Jets, there was still a lot of Favre supporters. I was one of them, and I watched Jets games. I got a Favre Jets jersey, but as soon as it was the Vikings, it was different. It was completely different, because how could you do that to go to a division rival? And we knew that and the part of it was we knew he did not like the Packers at that point. He wanted to get back at them. Whereas if Rodgers went to Minnesota, I don't think it necessarily would have been. In fact, I this is what I believe. I don't think it would have been just as a revenge thing to get back at Green Bay. I think it was purposely just to try to win another championship. I don't think revenge would have been on his mind. Whereas Favre, yeah, he had a really good team with Minnesota, could have won a Super Bowl, but I think the ulterior motive was revenge against Green Bay.
I think some of these older quarterbacks, they like the idea of beating their former team.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting to me because obviously, in my opinion, I think Rodgers tried to go to the Vikings last year. I think that's where he wanted to go, and they just didn't want him. But, and like you said, I don't think it was necessarily for revenge, but I do think he was a little bit like, well, I can go back and beat the Packers.
And I think that's natural for
Yeah.
anybody, and he will finish his career unless they meet in a Super Bowl. The only team he has not beaten is Green Bay. So,
which I'm good with.
yeah. I hope they don't face each other in a Super Bowl.
I'm good with it. Then we're in a Super Bowl.
Well, I'm saying I don't want Pittsburgh and Green Bay because then it's like, on one hand, I want Green Bay to win. It'll always be the team. But then it's like, now Rodgers and McCarthy, which I'll be happy that they get 2, but then it came at the cost of Green Bay. It's like, I don't want to play that emotional mind game with myself and just stress myself out and have anxiety more than I already do. So, but no, I'll pay attention a little bit more to it for sure. So, but get ready for a lot of, I don't even know the primetime games that the Steelers have this year, but that'll be pumped up more knowing that this is a farewell tour. And you're going to, bring that up. NFL is probably thinking, hey, Rodgers, why couldn't you say this earlier? So maybe we could have adjusted the schedule. So they got a Thursday. Oh, that's not even that great, to be honest with you.
5 games.
Week 4, Week 10, Week 12, Week 13, Week 14. And there's flex scheduling, so that'll be interesting to see how it plays out towards the end. Especially if it's like a playoff spot on the line for Week 18. Win, you're in, but it also could be Rodgers' final game.
Well, the problem is that could happen, and they'll probably flex that to a night game. But you also, with the NFC North, I mean, those are likely going to be key games as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get the NFC, what is that, West, with the Rams and the Seahawks. And
49ers.
there's a lot of good games Week 18.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. We got to take a quick break. Plenty more to get to, though. Let us know your thoughts, all right? What would you do, or what are you going to do? We'll be right back after these few words. Dings, dents, or something more serious? Don't stress about it. Just head to Superior Auto Body. From minor touch-ups to a major collision repair, they are your go-to team for getting your vehicle back to looking like new. With experienced technicians and attention to every detail, Superior Auto Body takes pride in doing the job right the first time. So when life happens to your vehicle, trust the team that Eau Claire drivers rely on. Superior Auto Body, your go-to place for all of your auto body needs. Superior Auto Body, our official partners for Backyard Dreams. We've got Chadwick, a.k.a. C-Bomb, and Zach on the video stream saying, Zach says, yeah, I'll be watching every game that I can. Does anyone else think that he's going to ball out this upcoming season with it being his last run? C-Bomb says, for me, both are the quarterbacks of my generation. I saw the entire careers. I would say anyone under 40, it is Rodgers, 22 years with 12, 20 seasons for 4. I hope it's early season for 12 going. I hope it's early in the season for 12 going in the Ring of Honor. Going to Brett's, it was 35 degrees and raining on Thanksgiving night. I was miserable. So, C-Bomb also says, I have a Favre Southern Miss in Atlanta, Green Bay, and Jets jersey. Never would get the purple one. Like Mike Singletary said, won't do it, can't do it. So Zach says, I wish I could have seen Favre in his prime. For me, he was at the end of his career. I remember the end of his run in Green Bay. So for me, it's Rodgers. I'm kind of in the same area with C-Bomb, but I'd probably lean slightly to Rodgers. Was probably the quarterback of my generation. I mean, again, Super Bowl 31, I was in 5th grade. I remember it clearly. I remember the NFC Championship loss to Dallas and all that. So I, all through my elementary, high school, and towards the end of my college years was Favre. Then at the end of my college career to adulthood and such was Rodgers. So it just kind of depends on there. But yeah, I was spoiled with quarterback play. That's essentially what should be saying here. Definitely spoiled. Me, C-Bomb, and others in our area. The thing is, I would love, the one thing I would love to kind of redo, Favre playing in the social media era. Mm-hmm. I would love to see the reaction from fans. Like, put Favre playing right now. Same thing. You're going to get the same type of play, same type of career. The amount, I would be curious to hear from Packers fans or see Packers fans' reactions to Favre and interceptions that he's thrown, or why are you throwing it there? What are you doing here? That I would love to see the Facebook or the social media reaction to Favre.
I feel like it'd be so up and down just because how many interceptions.
Yeah, and just to me, I think it's still so interesting to see Favre and Rodgers back to back in their careers and how different they were. Favre throwing that thing up, giving players a chance, throwing stupid pat. Like, what are you doing there? To where Rodgers holding it on, not throwing pit. It was such the opposite ends of the pole. Completely different. I mean, there was so many games. It was a 4th and 26 game, I believe. And in the playoff, it's like Favre just throws that up in overtime against Philly. It's like, what are you doing? You know, or the NFC Championship game in that pick when we were there freezing our buns off. It's like, why? When you got like Jennings over there, it's like those type of plays, right? Every quarterback has them, but Favre had more than any other one. So I kind of wish I could have seen Favre in the social. Maybe not, because I would have stressed myself out too much, and that would have given me probably stress, high blood pressures, and that. So, Surveyor says the scriptwriters in the NFL are going to have a field day with the Rodgers farewell. Favre was my childhood quarterback. He retired when I was a junior in high school. Oh, man, now I feel old, Surveyor. And Rodgers was my entire adult life, so I can't choose who was my quarterback of generation because they both are. Yeah, it's tough. We're kind of at that weird age group, but Did you ever see Favre play in here? You don't. You're
I mean, when
maybe?
I was like 2.
So you don't remember any?
No, not really.
And that's when he wasn't with Green Bay, right?
Yeah.
So, if you've seen
No.
highlights and
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder what the narrative would be like if he played during social media era. How different it would be. Something to ponder, though. That's for sure. So, how about the rest of you? Yeah, there's a few of you. We have one texter that said too that they'll be paying a little bit more attention to Rodgers this year because he was my favorite quarterback and still is my favorite quarterback. Don't have a name with that texter. So, all right, I might have to. I used to collect a bunch of Rodgers cards. Then I stopped when he stopped playing for Green Bay. Starting to get a little bit. I'll admit it. Little confession here. The fact that it is going to be his final year too, starting to get a little of that soft spot for Rodgers again. Because it's like the end of an era. It's the end of one of my greatest. I'd probably say Rodgers. Oh no, I'm not going to go there. I was going to say Rodgers is my quarterback, but I can't yet. Too many good moments between the two.
I think Aaron Rodgers retiring ends the quarterback era where you can tackle the quarterbacks. And, I don't even know who's would be next, technically, to Aaron Rodgers. But his era was kind of the one where you could hit the quarterback. There was less pass interference calls. The game was what it was supposed to be. And now we're in an era where you can't touch the quarterback, and the pass interference is crazy. So I think also that's an era that's dying, where it was like NBA, real basketball dying. That's kind of dying too.
No. It's gonna be weird, especially with McCarthy being. I thought it was interesting. Apparently, Rodgers. You go back to a few years ago when these two were still in Green Bay, and all the stories and rumors that they hated each other, they didn't like each other, and I'm sure there was disagreements, and they both acknowledged that and I think that's kind of natural at that point. There's maybe some frustration growing because they're not winning more championships and that. But apparently, Rodgers did tell Omar Khan, the GM of the Steelers, he did give. He's like, you should interview McCarthy for the job. He didn't really push it, but he did give him kind of an endorsement that way. And in the clip we played, it sounds like if Mike McCarthy would not have been the head coach, Rodgers probably isn't coming back.
Yeah.
So I don't think the Steelers made that hire just to bring Rodgers back for one more year. I think a lot of it has to deal with McCarthy's background in developing younger quarterbacks, which I think they got to figure that out. And they got to figure out if it's a guy that they have on the roster right now or if that's going to be somebody that's not on the roster in this, what's supposed to be a better draft coming up. The thing is, too, with Pittsburgh, you're kind of at that weird thing. You've got some good players on your team, like a TJ Watt, DK, and that. But you need that quarterback for the future. It's almost like you don't want to be too good where you're going to have a pick way back, You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, they are too good to be bad.
Yeah.
They're going to go likely 8-9 or 9-8, almost make the playoffs and pick 15th. And this is a deep quarterback class, but I don't know if it's that deep.
I think we're getting way ahead of ourselves in this, but depending on where they pick, would you trade a bunch of picks to move up to maybe get an Arch Manning? Can you imagine a Manning in Pittsburgh? Oh, God. You want to talk about scriptwriters in the NFL surveyor? The NFL scriptwriters would love that thing.
Yes.
And I don't know if Arch Manning would be the top quarterback. That's the name that everybody's going to talk about in next year's draft. So, but all right, we got to take another break here. We'll get back to some more baseball talk as we continue to recap yesterday's win and a series sweep against the Chicago Cubbies. Something I was kind of throwing out yesterday, I'll kind of bring back up here, is Memorial Day. How do you view that as a benchmark in Major League Baseball? I think we can all agree it is a benchmark, but a benchmark for what? If that kind of makes sense. Let me know. I'm kind of curious. How do you approach the Memorial Day weekend for your baseball team? Is it this is when we know what we have as a team, or is it a little bit different? What is it? We'll take a quick break and get back to some more baseball talk coming up after these quick words. Sunshine road trips and summer adventures are calling. Is your vehicle ready? At AJM Automotive in Eau Claire, they'll make sure that you hit the road with confidence. From AC checks and oil changes to brakes and full inspections, AJM Automotive has you covered before the heat kicks in. With 2 convenient Eau Claire locations, expert service is always just around the corner. Don't let car trouble slow you down for your summer plans. Schedule your appointment today by visiting ajmautomotiveservices.com. AJM Automotive, keeping you cool, safe, and road trip ready all summer long. You found, I did not see this, but you found this quote from Mike McCarthy. Was it yesterday? You said that? Or maybe, yeah. Okay, this is from yesterday. What did he have to say about Mason Rudolph?
He said, quote, "I wanted to draft Mason Rudolph to replace Rodgers someday. Packers waited for 2020 instead."
So Rudolph was in the 2018 draft, which was Goody's first year as a general manager for the Packers. So maybe he didn't want to do that right away as his first year as GM. I don't know, but kind of an interesting nugget.
Yeah,
So,
that'd been rough.
yeah, but we'll see how it plays out. We'll even see if Rudolph is going to be the guy to maybe even next. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. So, let's get back to some more baseball talk here as the Crew sweeping the Cubbies yesterday behind Kyle Harrison, and a dominant performance from him, going 7 innings, just giving up a couple hits, and one of them was that double in the first inning, and then they threw out him trying to take third, Nico Horner. But just 2 hits, 11 Ks, 1 walk. Just lights out performance from Kyle Harrison for this young pitcher. And as Pat Murphy said after the game yesterday, we're a young team, but I trust these guys. They have high expectations of themselves, and we have high standards too. You look at Miz and you look at Kyle Harrison, when those 2 guys, if they're going to be back-to-back in this lineup, in this pitching rotation, opposing teams should be worried, because these 2, Mizorowski's the real deal. I agree with you. I think he's a top 5 pitcher in Major League Baseball right now. Harrison, I'm not ready to do that yet just because of his youth and that, but right now he is pitching like it. And with these 2, you throw in Brandon Woodruff when he comes back, and then you've got a mixture of whether it's Logan Henderson, Coleman Crow, Brandon Sproat. Is this a staff that's good enough for a deep postseason run right now? I think so. I think it is. Not a ton of experience outside of Brandon Woodruff. But, when you get to that trade deadline, which we got time. We got time yet. But a lot of teams are looking for starters, right? Starting pitchers or bullpen pitchers. Early stuff, right? I don't know if the Brewers have a need in that area at this point. Maybe another bullpen arm to replace like Zerpa, who's done for the year or such. But I got a ton of trust in these guys so far.
And again, when you can just spot start Logan Henderson and he gives you 6 innings, and Gasser's coming up and he struggled, but he gave you 4 innings of 2-run baseball. Mm-hmm. That's insanely deep.
Look at the issue that the Cubs are in right now with their injuries to their starting pitchers. And you look at a team like the Brewers, who have insane depth. And the Brewers were kind of in that spot last year with early injuries to their starters. And I know we talked to, I think it was Hunter Baumgart about this too. You look at the offseason, what the Brewers did with pitchers and acquiring pitchers like a Kyle Harrison, like a Brandon Sproat, and those guys. Was that kind of in the forefront of their mind of what happened last year with a lot of their injuries? And you look at what they did, and kind of like, hey, that plan's worked out so far. The fact that you can fill in spot starts with a Logan Henderson and those guys, yeah, like you said, speaks to the depth of that volume they have.
And you look at the difference between the Cubs and the Brewers. The Cubs traded their number 1 prospect for Edward Cabrera, the starting pitcher from the Marlins. And he hasn't been great. And the Brewers traded Durbin for Harrison, Drohan, and Hamilton. And, I mean, that's the difference is insane because Cabrera's not the pitcher that Harrison has been.
Right.
And then you add 2 other impact players. There's your difference between the two franchises.
Mm-hmm. Oh, 100%. I don't think the Red Sox are going to want to do any trades with the Brewers anytime soon here after that. Or I don't know if the Brewers are – I think it's in the NFL, like the joke is if the Eagles and Howie Roseman are calling you, you don't answer. Maybe you don't answer if the Brewers are calling you and Matt Arnold's calling you right now because, yeah, it's – again, I know there's a lot of baseball left to be played, but right now you embrace it and you just tip your cap to how well this team is performing and how well a lot of these different players are getting the job done for the Brewers.
And again, we don't know what he's going to give, but we're missing our best pitcher from last year. Quinn Priester was arguably our best pitcher last year, and he has not pitched practically all year. So
he hasn't pitched in the regular season all year.
So, I mean, this has been an incredible start.
Mm-hmm. And this is without Brandon Woodruff in the lineup in the last few turns, too.
Mm-hmm.
It is literally being led by a bunch of kids. Mizorowski is like the veteran of this staff. Logan Anderson, Kyle Harrison. I'm putting Chad Patrick in the bullpen now. I'm just looking at starters, kind of. Coleman Crowe. It's Robert Gasser actually made his debut a couple years ago, so he's a little bit older than Mizorowski. But these are kids that is leading this group, and they're just, I don't know if they're playing. They're going out there with this I've got nothing to lose mentality and just playing loose or what. But again, I think a ton of credit has to go to Contreras too with working with these young pitchers. We know he's hard on them. We've heard this. We heard it earlier in the season, like Mizorowski talked about it. And you can tell if you're paying attention to a game, if a pitcher's a little bit off and that throw comes in a little hot, you can tell Contreras is a little annoyed. Mm-hmm. So Contreras holds those pitchers to a really high standard too. And I think that's just a trickle-down effect probably from the coaching staff, manager staff, Chris Hook, Jim Henderson. They have put over the last year, how many years, a ton of resources in developing these pitchers. And I think you're seeing the fruits of the labor right now.
And I think that's Contreras' best part of his game.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good hitter. He can hit for power. Hasn't shown it this year, but he can hit for power. But like you said, you look what he's done with these pitchers. I mean, Gary Sanchez is good, but when Gary Sanchez catches one of these younger pitchers, they're not as good as when Contreras catches them. And he's done it in back-to-back years, and it's been so impressive to watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Carl said that teams should offer a trade with the Brewers and find out who the Brewers want and then back out of that trade and sign them to a big contract. Yeah. But one of your takeover questions was regarding Joey Ortiz. What was that
If they
again?
send Joey Ortiz down, do you think it would affect the chemistry of this infield? You talk about, because Rengifo can't get sent down. Hamilton could, but he's, in my opinion, you have to have Hamilton on.
Of those three, I think you keep Hamilton for sure. If we don't have to worry about send downs or anything like that.
And so, we sent down Bryce Terang a couple years ago. It was early June. He had a better OPS and average than Ortiz does right now. And look what he's become. But at the same time, they're now winning. So you don't want to affect the clubhouse. And so I'm interested. I don't think they'll ever send Joey down. But if they did, I'm interested to see if it would affect the clubhouse.
Yeah. Adam McCulvey actually just a couple days ago had a piece up, says these two Brewers prospects are knocking at the door. This was back on the 19th that he wrote this and said, I'll just kind of paraphrase a little bit here. It says, meanwhile, two of MLB Pipeline's top prospects, Jet Williams and Cooper Pratt, have been on fire at AAA. The organization has a lot riding on both players after dealing pitcher Freddie Peralta in the January trade that landed Williams from the Mets and spending more than $50 million to lock up Pratt with a long-term extension. Pratt plays major league caliber defense at shortstop, which is critical because the incumbent Joey Ortiz has been delivering sensational defense. Williams can play second, third, short, and the outfield. He has been playing mostly third base this season and playing the position well, according to Pat Murphy. But where is the tipping point between exercising patience with the players you know and taking a chance on the players you don't know? Those are the questions that Milwaukee officials have spent a lot of time on in recent days. There's no answer to that, Murphy said. It's a combination of so many things, including the needs of the major league club. I used to think this. I used to think that it's the point where the player is just absolutely ticked. And he's like, what else do I have to do to show? This is ridiculous. When he's at that point, maybe he's ready. That's what I used to think. But now I've seen so many young guys come up and fit in pretty well and do well. So for me, there is no really right time. Just kind of this. So again, this was through last Sunday. Williams with 87 plate appearances, 333 average with a 1.098 OPS. Cooper Pratt, 87 plate appearances, 304 average with a 1.024 OPS. Compared to Joey Ortiz, 45 plate appearances, 211. Luis, 63 plate appearances, 241. Hamilton, I think this number's probably up a little bit more, but at that time, again, this was through Sunday, 49 plate appearances and 209. Now, there is a difference between AAA and Major League Baseball. Understand that and such. But at what point do you, maybe more so Jet Williams because it's third base, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, we focus on Cooper Pratt because of the contract, obviously, that he has signed in that. But what about Jet Williams, considering the versatility that he can also give you playing multiple spots?
And again, I'm more interested, who are they going to send down?
Mm-hmm.
I think that Jet or I don't know but one of them should be up already. Either Jet or why can't I think of his name?
Cooper Pratt.
One of them, in my opinion, should be up by now because, again, you're not getting any production from your bottom of the order. And Ortiz has struggled defensively this year. I think he's kind of pressing at the plate. That's led to some struggles defensively. He's still a Gold Glove caliber shortstop, but he wasn't what he was last year. And David Hamilton's good, but he's not great. And I feel like Jet Williams could give you more, but I also don't know who you'd send down.
I'm trying to see if I can see if some of his updated numbers here so far. Okay, so yesterday, Jet Williams, all he did was just collect a couple more hits and had 3 total bases. He is hitting, what's his season? Can I get the season average? Okay, so it says, all right, so the numbers, just froze up on me. But anyways, I wonder if Jet's going to be the guy that gets called up first at some point. I right now, I think you go Jet Williams first.
Yeah.
The other thing, too, is you still got Luis Lara that is just raking. I think, now it's just me, I think Garrett Mitchell's on a very thin line because he's not getting consistent starts now. Jake Bauers, the way he's hitting, you've got to keep him in that lineup, and depending on pitching matchups, he's probably going to be in left field if he's not first base. That means Cheerios in center then, and Frelick's in right. Bauers and Mitchell are both lefties. Right now, who do you want at the plate? The guy that's got a 21 on-base streak and 11-game hitting streak? Yeah, that's the guy I want, and that's Jake Bauers. That's not Garrett Mitchell. But I'm also assuming that Jake Bauers is not going to be able to keep up with that pace. And if that's not the case, but you got Lara over there who's still hitting 345 with a 971 OPS, and he's got 7 home runs. Is that a potential move too?
I don't see them sending down Garrett Mitchell anytime soon. I think if they were going to call up Lara, he would have already been called up. Blake Perkins is still on the MLB roster.
I think a lot of that's because of Lockridge on the injured list.
Yeah. But I'm surprised they're keeping Perkins. Like, if they wanted to call up Lara, I would be surprised if it wasn't Perkins being sent down. Because they sent him down already, then immediately called him back up.
Because of the Lockridge.
Yeah.
And I think if you bring up Lara, you have to play him, though. You can't sit him on the bench because if you're going to call him up, you want to get him ABs, and that's where it may come from like even more Garrett Mitchell at-bats. So it's a loaded AAA team. It's a loaded AAA team. So, all right, we got to take a quick break. We're a little bit behind here, so we're going to be wrapping up the second quarter. We'll be right back after these quick words. Summer is almost here, and that means it's also time to freshen up your home from the ground up with Carpet City Flooring Center. Whether you're hosting some backyard get-togethers, opening the doors to family and friends, or you're just ready for a seasonal refresh, new flooring can completely transform your space. From soft, comfortable carpet to durable luxury vinyl planks, Carpet City Flooring Center has everything you need to bring your vision to life. It's not just about the looks. It's about quality that you can count on and expert guidance every step of the way. Their team is ready to help you find the perfect fit for your style, your needs, and your budget. So before summer officially kicks off, make sure your home is ready to shine. Stop on in to Carpet City Flooring Center today and take the first step towards a space that you will love all season long. Just a few minutes left to the top of the hour here. Then we'll be at halftime already on this Thursday morning. So get your questions in now, kind of your second to last final call to text your outdoor-related questions for Mr. Jake Boakes. You can send those on over to us, 715-830-1912. Yep, we did talk about Pete Crow Armstrong's error last night. As I don't know who this texter is, but says couldn't have happened to a better person. That was 2 nights in a row, though. He dropped the ball the night before, and then last night, such Gold Glove my eye right now. But for crying out loud, it's like, I don't know. That's why I said I put it up on my Facebook page. Every youth little league coach should be showing their kids that play, and it's like that's why you don't be lazy in the outfield, or don't get lazy going after a ball either, too, because not only was he lazy with putting the glove down and lifted up, but then he kind of jogged right away. It's like, dude, come on.
Yeah.
Come on, man. So maybe that White Sox fan really got in his head. You know, that viral clip of that White Sox, she was giving him the business. Maybe it got it to his head big time. So I didn't mind it. I'm not a big PCA fan. Especially like it was last year in the postseason, like when he would struggle at the plate and just how he reacted, like slamming his stuff. And I think was it last year they had Justin Turner on the team, and they said like he was really trying to mentor him and try to like kind of calm him down at times. And it's like, dude.
Well, and then World Baseball Classic comes, he hits 1 home run, and Cubs fans are like, "Oh, he's Captain America." And stop it.
Yeah, no. So, all right, shot clock's going to cut us off in 30 seconds. So, coming up next hour, continue to send us your Takeover Thursday questions or topic ideas. What's a question that you have or a topic idea that you have that we should discuss? Send those on over. All right, send them on over. We want to hear them, and we want to discuss them. So, we've got Jake joining us at the bottom of the hour, and then we'll talk some Local Express with Craig Toyson coming up in about an hour from now. So halftime is here. We got news updates, and we'll be right back after these quick words. All right, third hour kicks off right now on this Thursday morning, a Takeover Thursday. Thanks for hanging out with us and making us a part of your start here. We've got Jake Boaks joining us at the bottom of the hour, answering your outdoor-related questions. So text those on over, 715-830-1912. You can also, 1 hour from now, we'll kick off our weekly Express chats for the summer as the Eau Claire Express season is set to begin on Monday. But since Monday is Memorial Day, we won't be here. So owner Craig Toyson is going to be joining us at 9 o'clock to help us preview the upcoming Express season. It is a Takeover Thursday, so we are taking your topics. If you got a good question or a good topic that you think we should discuss, send it on over, all right? Text it to us on that Shoe Doctors bullpen line, 715-830-1912, or join in on the Section 105 chat on our video stream. Intern Carter, also here too. One of his questions is, do the Brewers have the best rotation in Major League Baseball? What say you, everybody? Do you think the Brewers have the best starting rotation in all of Major League Baseball? Do you think they do? That's why you are throwing it out there, right? That's why you threw it out there. I think if we base it off of team ERA, they're one of the best ones for starting right. You got Braves probably up there, Dodgers. I mean, what Ohtani's doing too is just absolutely ridiculous. I'd say yes. I don't know if I'd say top 5 for sure. I don't know if I'd say first right though.
Yeah.
I'd say top 5. Definitely. And I think now depth, I'd probably say number 1. Because if you miss your starting pitcher last year that led the team in wins, Quinn Priester, has not played an inning yet for you. Brandon Woodruff has been on the injured list. And you traded Freddie Peralta, your other guy that was your best pitcher. You're missing those 3. And you're still one of the best. That, to me, is you've got the best depth of starting pitchers in Major League Baseball. I would say that, for sure. Top 5.
Yeah.
You could debate top 1, top 2, for sure top 5. I would put the Brewers on there. Because you look at a lot, I mean, even the Yankees are going through some injuries, but they're going to get Garrett Cole coming back here soon. So that'll definitely help them, for sure, which stinks. But, yeah, I'd probably go top 5.
Yeah.
I'd probably go top 5. Also, it is a Enough is Enough Thursday. So what's a sports narrative or what's a sports take that you're just like, enough is enough? How about, because the Eagles linebacker Nolan Smith got arrested for reckless driving. What is it with Georgia players and driving issues and speeding? Like, enough is enough. Are they teaching that down there or what's going on? Is that a thing? I don't know. It just feels like if you played football at Georgia, you might have some driving issues.
2 days ago, their starting safety just got arrested for driving too fast.
It's like, what's going on here in Georgia? I've never been to Georgia. I don't know what it's like to drive down there. I don't know the speed limit, so maybe somebody who's been down there can enlighten me a little bit, but enough is enough. Maybe football players from Georgia, if you get to the NFL, hire somebody else to be your driver. Just go do something else, maybe, because it doesn't seem to work out well for those guys. But last night, Stanley Cup playoffs, we had the Vegas Golden Knights taking down the Avalanche. How do you see that series? Do you think the Avalanche bounce back and get that dub, though?
Yeah, I think that goes 6.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Avs are just too good. Cale Makar didn't play, so they're without their best defenseman, and he's an incredible scorer as well, so definitely had some holes to fill, but their goalie is their only weak spot, and when they have Cale Makar, their defense is good enough to overshadow that weakness, and then they score a ton. So it was a really good win by Vegas. Nothing against them. They're a great team, but I don't see that series going to Vegas.
How about the other one with Montreal getting the Game 7 victory against Buffalo? That That they stopped that from all being 1 seeds in the Stanley Cup.
They did. I think the Hurricanes, I may say even sweep. The Hurricanes are just such a good team, and that side is the weaker side. And so, I mean, the Knights have not had a hard road to get there. But Montreal faced a Sabres team that was really young, their first time in the playoffs in a long time. Obviously, the atmosphere was electric, but they were able to pull it out. And now they're coming back on short rest where the Hurricanes have all the rest. They're healthy again. They're 8-0 in the playoffs. That does not set up well for Montreal.
If it is Avalanche and Carolina, could that be a really good series, though?
Yeah, that's going to be a fantastic series.
Yeah.
I mean, the Hurricanes have one of the best goalies in Anderson left in the postseason, and they do score. So I still think the Avalanche are far and above the best team in the NHL, and it's not really close. But the Hurricanes, I could see that going 7, especially in hockey, because you never know. So I could see that going 7.
Yeah. NBA playoffs last night, the Thunder tied that up. That's a series I could see going the distance, too, between, seeing some of the regular season battles between those two as well. And then, we'll see with Knicks and Cavs. Actually, when you look at it, I know the NBA is kind of poo-poo, but when you look at these conference, they're actually decent matchups when you look at it from a Cavs-Knicks standpoint. And then Thunder and Spurs, they were fun to watch in the regular season, and clearly the two best teams, I think, in the Western Conference and maybe even in the entire NBA, going at it. So that's a fun series. A little bit of surprise in the NBA with Jason Kidd getting fired by the Dallas Mavericks, the former Milwaukee Bucks head coach and now former Dallas Mavericks head coach and former Brooklyn Nets head coach. So don't know if he'll get another shot, but the Mavericks got a new GM, got a new guy running the show, and one of his first orders of business was getting rid of the coach that they gave a big contract extension to, even with the Knicks trying to interview Jason Kidd last year. But I saw this piece on Yahoo, and I see you kind of have one of them up there too, but the Jason Kidd firing, it said that there have been claims that while the 53-year-old Kidd is a basketball genius, his personal conduct rubbed people the wrong way wherever he went. He also served as assistant coach for the Lakers. A fan on X shared a story about the Hall of Famer. Years ago, a Nike executive told me that Jay Kidd is going to get fired from every coaching job he gets because for as good as he is at X's and O's and player development, over time he becomes insufferable and his personality starts to weigh on people. One of Kidd's former players in Milwaukee, Michael Carter-Williams, seconded the comment, though he did not elaborate, saying, quote, "I've been trying to tell people this for 10 years now. Truth always prevails." I remember when the Bucks got Michael Carter-Williams, and even Magic Johnson tweeted about it, saying they just got themselves the next Jason Kidd when Jason Kidd was there. So I think we've heard stuff like this before about Jason Kidd and that, but it'll be I don't know if I wouldn't be surprised if he gets another head coaching job because it's the NBA.
Yeah.
It's like the NHL. They just recycle through head coaches all the time.
If I'm going to be honest with you, I think he got fired more for his involvement with the Luka trade. I think they are just trying to clean house about that and want
any last remaining remnants of that thing. Yeah.
And he may have not been on board, but if he supported that in any way, I think it was smart. You're in a rebuild, and you could compete sort of this next year. You got Kyrie coming back. You still have Cooper Flagg and a high draft pick. So bringing a new coach, I'm interested to see if they go brand new or veteran coach.
Billy Donovan?
I could see that.
Because, Billy Donovan, I don't think going to the college landscape anymore, at least not this year. I don't know if he'd take a year off or not, but because Pelicans got their new head coach, Orlando, I still think Orlando, that would be funny if Billy Donovan went to Orlando because, so flashback. Obviously, Billy Donovan coached Florida Gators to 2 national championships. But before that, because I used to be an Orlando Magic fan, Billy Donovan was hired by the Magic to be their head coach. Did the intro press conference and everything. Next day, he had second thoughts.
Wow.
Backed out and ended up winning a national championship with Florida. So he was there for Orlando for a hot minute. I remember watching that as a youngster thinking, being pumped up that, all right, Billy Donovan was going to be the coach for the Magic, and he backed out. Yeah, that was, let me bring up the year that was. It was early 2000s, I believe. Yeah, 2007. 2007. So that'd be funny, kind of. They try again. Yeah. But it's kind of like what Josh McDaniels did to the Colts, but Billy Donovan, or even like Bill Belichick with the Jets, Billy Donovan had the presser and then next day had second thoughts.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But it actually worked out for him because then he won national championship with Florida. He got two of them. So
I'm surprised he didn't try to go back to college.
especially with the North Carolina one,
Yeah.
because he was really rumored for that. But then, he wanted to finish the season, and that I don't know if Carolina was legitimately interested or not. Because I know they've got the former coach of the Nuggets. I'm just blanking on his name. Malone.
Mike Malone.
Yeah. But that one's going to be interesting to see how
I
don't know if that's going to play.
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't see that.
I don't know why Malone didn't wait to get an NBA job.
We talked about it. Would Carolina do what they did with Belichick, bringing in a former big-name pro, and that's exactly what they did with their basketball team. I don't know, maybe it'll work out, but if I'm a Carolina basketball fan, I'm worried. Football, it's like whatever. You think of North Carolina, you think of basketball, not football. I'd be a little bit worried.
Yes.
About the future here. But, all right, let's take a quick break. Last call. Questions for Jake Bolks. He's coming up in about 15 minutes or so. Please text those on over to us on that Shoe Doctors bullpen line at 715-830-1912. We'll take a quick break. Back with more after these few words. Every summer Saturday from 3 to 6 p.m., head on over to the VFW Post at 305 for some live music happy hours on the patio. Bring your camera, take in the view, watch the resident Raptors do a little hunting and fishing, grab a beverage, and enjoy some great live music performed by their talented local musicians. They'll be featuring food and drink specials, and of course, the four-legged friends are always welcome. And put it on the schedule here because we are a month away from one of the better holidays, Father's Day. Sunday, June 21st from 7 a.m. to noon, they'll be doing their special Father's Day buffet. So if you're looking to take dad out, go to the VFW Post at 305 Sunday, did I say Saturday? Sunday, June 21st from 7 a.m. to noon. All right, we'll catch up with Jake here in about 10 minutes. So, again, final call for any hunting, fishing, outdoor-related questions you may have for Jake. Text those on over to that Shoe Doctor's bullpen line at 715-830-1912. Off day today for the Brewer Crew as we get set for a big series going up against the Dodgers as the Dodgers come into town. I don't know I don't know. I'd have to double check. I don't know off the top of my head if Ohtani is going to be scheduled to pitch or not. He's not?
He pitched yesterday.
He did? Perfect. Good. Great. Awesome. Get him out of here. We don't need, although we have the bat to worry about too. So,
yeah.
I know he's a little down, but still.
We'll just take one thing to worry about.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Hey, we are the best. The Brewers are the best at not giving up home runs anyway. So,
Yeah.
It should be a fun series. I'm glad the Brewers are playing like this. They're playing some really good baseball. They're playing probably their best baseball that they have all season long. They're healthy. You're not going to have Kyle pitching this one. I don't think Miz is pitching. So maybe a little bit worried there that they're not going to have the best pitchers going up there. But you got Logan Henderson. We'll see who's going to be.
I believe.
Do they have the lineups announced or the rotation announced yet?
They had the probables out.
Okay.
It's Robert Gasser, Logan Henderson.
And probably maybe Coleman Crow?
I don't think it was Coleman Crow.
Or they go, Sprout. It'd be Sprout.
There it was. Yep.
Yeah, Brandon Sprout.
So it was Logan Henderson, Robert Gasser, and Brandon Sprout.
Okay. Yeah. Good test for those.
It'll
right?
be interesting to watch, yeah.
Yep. So, should be fun. But I don't think that is. Oh, okay. Never mind. All right. Got a question for Jake. I'll throw that over to him too. So, all right. Send over your Takeover Thursday topics if you got any. One kind of informal poll question we've been throwing out there for peeps with Aaron Rodgers announcing yesterday that this is his final year. You as a Packers fan, if you are a Packers fan, would you be watching maybe him a little bit more, maybe the Steelers just a little bit more this year because you know it's the final year? I'd say just based off the messages, I'm not going to read all of them. It's probably about 75 to 80% saying yes, that they would. 75 to 80%. And I get it, too. A lot of it's going to depend on whether they're going to be on your TV or not.
Yeah.
You know, that's the unknown part of it. But maybe you follow a little bit more online. Maybe you're just kind of, on your phone. Maybe you're just kind of looking it up and paying a little bit more attention during the day at the score, at the stats, any highlights, more so than maybe you would have like last year or the year prior. But honestly, I feel if that game is on TV, like a primetime game, for example, a lot of people may not watch a primetime game if it's not the Packers or their favorite team. Let's use the Packers in this because we're talking about Rodgers. But a lot of people might not go out of their way to watch it if it's not the Packers. But if it's Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers, you're going to go out of your way now to sit down and watch this because this might be the last time we watch Rodgers play. I think I might.
I just hope he makes it through the whole season healthy.
Yeah. You don't want to end it on
on
an injury, especially when you've already proclaimed it's your final year. That I was thinking that, but I didn't want to jinx it. So you jinx it, so we can all blame you now when if it does happen. But yeah, that's the other thing too. It's I don't want that. I don't want that to happen to anybody.
Yeah.
Even if it's a rival, I don't want that to happen. I don't want to root for injuries or want injuries in that. I'm not all about that.
We'll just beat him straight up.
Yeah, exactly. Right. then there's no excuses.
Mm-hmm.
So, but, all right, let's take our break and get to Jake here. So, we've got a few questions we'll throw over there to ask him. We'll hit that up, switch gears here a little bit, but please chime in on those questions and give us your input. We'll get back to those coming up here in just a little bit. We'll take a quick break and chat a little outdoors with Mr. Bolks coming up after these quick words. Summer is here, and that means it's time to get outside to make some memories and to be ready for whatever the season brings. That's where Tilden Gun comes in. Whether you're gearing up for target practice, heading to the range, or preparing for your next outdoor adventure, Tilden Gun has the selection and expertise to get you set up right. From firearms and ammunition to accessories and safety gear, they've got everything you need, all backed by knowledgeable service that you can trust. At Tilden Gun, it's not just about what you buy, it's about making sure that you feel confident, informed, and ready every time that you head on out. So this summer, don't just enjoy the outdoors, be prepared for it. Stop by Tilden Gun today and see why they are a trusted name for shooters and outdoor enthusiasts alike. Let's chat some outdoors with our guy, Mr. Jake Boakes, Conservation Warden for the great state of Wisconsin. Good morning, Jake. How are you doing, sir?
Morning. I am doing well. How about yourself?
Can't complain too much, man. Can't complain. So getting set for Memorial Day weekend. How busy of a weekend is this usually for you guys? Because it's kind of like maybe the beginning of summer and such.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a busy weekend. I mean, top 5, I'm sure you could guess most of them: gun deer, fishing, 4th of July, stuff like that. But all 3 summer holidays are quite busy for exactly what you said. You know, it's the official start of the summer. Everyone's rip-roaring, ready to get the ATVs, UTVs out, ready to get the boats out, ready. I mean, you can still technically turkey hunt. The cabins are opening. It's warm. It's nice. It's everything. Obviously, a lot of fishing. Fishing's coming into some prime time in different spots of the state, so it is definitely a busy weekend.
Speaking of UTVs and such, we have John that had a text asking, can you ask Jake about UTV window tinting regulations in the state of Wisconsin?
Yeah, so there was just in the last week or two a bunch of new rules signed into law regarding ATVs, UTVs, and mostly centered around safety. One of those laws was the ATV, UTV window tinting law. There was nothing prior to it, but now there is one where I guess the best way to describe it is that it's the same rules as like a motor vehicle. So when it comes to like what your cars, SUVs, trucks have on them, there's certain state requirements. Basically, I believe they adopted those same rules. So, you know, if it's a one-seater UTV, those windows are probably going to stay untinted or whatever the factory comes with that's legal. They'll be different depending on if you have like a one with like a back row and multiple windows. It would be different. But the days of like last summer when I was patrolling, you'd see some of these UTVs come by that they were black, like 5% tint all the way around, including the front windshield where you can't even see into it, which creates a whole list of safety concerns. Mostly, obviously, for the operator, when it's nighttime, you cannot see through those. I've driven in tinted vehicles before. During the day, it looks fine. During the night, you can't see anywhere. And that's a huge safety concern, especially with all the UTVs on the road routes these days. And then there's also the officer safety concern, because if we can't see inside of it, we don't know what they're doing, what you're moving around, what you're hiding, or if someone's holding a gun. So there's those reasons for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's so interesting. So is this also with Memorial Day weekend, is this where you see maybe an uptick in those trail rides and four-wheelers and UTVs?
Yeah. You know, obviously when summer's here, you know, the boats, ATVs, UTVs are all at their prime. But I think last week we discussed how last Friday, I think was the 15th, that was like a big opening weekend for some of the trail systems around here. I think some were open maybe prior to that. But anyways, a lot of the trails are open. So, yeah, this is like the first where people got extra days off. Obviously, most people have Monday off. They probably took Friday off. So people are getting out camping, and a lot, if not all the campgrounds are open, both state, county, local, stuff like that. So there's a lot, which is fun. It makes it fun. We enjoy working these weekends. We usually pair up with other wardens and go patrol in different areas. And, get on the machines, get on the boats, and most people are in a pretty good mood too, so it makes it fun.
How has I know in the last, month, few weeks or whatever with the fire danger and such, is it still pretty high in a lot of our areas? And I guess a follow-up to that, when we see those Smokey the Bear signs, you all know what I'm talking about, where fire danger and such, or Smokey Bear, or Smokey the Bear, whatever, Smokey Bear. When it says fire danger high in that, what's like the rule or the law for people in town to and maybe this is a city ordinance question and you're not the proper person, but like to have campfires in their backyard?
Yeah, so there's a lot of parts to that last one, but the first one is like the fire danger right now. I mean, it's still kind of high, it's not low by any means, but what forestry staff are looking for is what they call like the green up. That's where, I mean, it's kind of self-implied, but where everything starts turning green. The leaves are turning green and popping out. The grasses are green and growing. Everything's green. Green. Once you get green, the moisture levels are up, the fire danger goes down, and then we did have some rain over the weekend and stuff, so that mitigates it. I'm on an incident management team with a lot of forestry staff that gets put onto like standby when it gets very high level fire dangers, and that hasn't been a thing here for a week or a week and a half, so that's good. That shows that the fire risk is going down, so we're in a good spot there. As far as like when you can burn and when you can't burn, so that just has a lot of different answers to it. Generally across the state, for most times of the year, anyone can have like a warming fire, like something to cook on or something to keep you warm, which is usually like a little bonfire, and that's on your private properties and stuff like that, or at campgrounds. That's generally allowed. Now, when they have like these big red flag warnings, like no burning, the state is saying don't burn, or sometimes like when you go to the Boundary Waters in northern Minnesota, if they're on that, they'll tell you, even if you're out there camping and it's a cold night, if it's a no burn, it's a no burn. You cannot have a fire. So you'll know when that is, because that's like, you'll see that on the news. But generally the warming fires are fine. When it comes to when the fire levels are at like high or dangerous or whatever the top is, there's different counties, there's different city ordinances, county ordinance, state laws that apply. So the best thing to do is wherever you want to burn, you should just look at the local county regulations or ordinances on bonfires or fires and burning or stuff. Because in a lot of places, if it's more than just, a small little bonfire, warming fire, you're probably going to have some sort of permit, even if it's a free permit. There's different zones, the intensive and extensive areas of the state where you have to have state burning permits and stuff like that. Generally, if you own land, you're going to know whether you're in those zones or not, because it's a pretty common thing to discuss with neighbors and landowners, and just being in that area, just being a landowner, you learn that kind of stuff. So not the most clear answer, but my best answer would be if it's a really high, dangerous, especially on a really windy day, I would just not burn and be careful, because if something gets away from you, you're on the hook.
Yeah.
Whether that's monetarily from the fire department and all the resources that come to get it, or if it's intentional or negligent, you could be, criminally or, on the hook with that, as well as financially. So, use common sense, and otherwise just look at your town ordinances, your township ordinances, your village or your city ordinances on what you can and can't do.
Yeah, I was just going to say, maybe common sense, if it's really windy out there and you're wondering if you should burn or something. I've done that. Like, okay, it's really windy. I'm not going to, start by a little campfire or anything like that. So
For sure. It was a pretty high danger a couple weekends ago, and I just wanted to burn a couple of things. And I live in like a village. Like, I live in a manicured lawn, so I'm not worried about it getting away. But at the same time, I'm like, it is blowing. If something does catch, like, I don't want to be that guy in the neighborhood, So common sense goes a long way. And then if you're ever curious on like if there's any state permits you need or anything like that, I really encourage you just to reach out to our forestry staff, the ranger stations. All of our information for the DNR, 95% of it is all public, forward facing. So you can get a hold of a ranger just about anywhere in the state at any time, or a ranger station. They got landlines still at some of them. So I really encourage you. Those guys know what they're doing. They're good at their job. Just call them, use them as a resource.
Jake, before I let you go, one little news thing that happened just recently here, sharp-tailed grouse. Did I read that the wildlife officials have recommended no sharp-tailed grouse hunting season this year? Is that law, or is that just a recommendation, and it's kind of got to go through different channels at this point?
You actually beat me on that news, so I have
okay.
not seen that one, so I apologize on that one.
Okay. Well,
I'm not sure what that'd be. I'm trying to Google it quick, but I don't see anything off the top. But, yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I know.
Not sure on that one.
Okay. Yeah, I saw the article on the Journal Sentinel. It said no Wisconsin hunt expected for sharp-tailed grouse in 26, and that was just like 3 hours ago. So said I'll give you a little bit more info. It said 22%.
Yeah, you're on top of me.
Yeah.
You're doing your job.
I'm trying, man.
You're staying on top.
I'm trying to impress you.
Hey, that's good. That's why I like. That's why I like calling in. I learn something too every day when we listen to this show.
I like it.
So yeah, no, and that isn't unexpected in a sense. If you stay up on modern just ecology and habitats and some of these specialized species or endangered or threatened species, there's some areas where stuff's getting better, where animals are growing, their population's growing. But the hard part is, especially with grouse, any kind of grouse are extremely dependent on habitat, like huge tracts of land. That's what makes grouse successful. And habitat fragmentation, i.e. we're all buying different little pieces and doing what we want with land, that's like the biggest detriment to grouse across the state and across the nation. I've listened to a lot of podcasts about grouse management and their population, and I don't foresee grouse hunting getting much better in the future for any of it around the state, unless there's just more land set aside or just open to logging and big tracts of land. That's what will help the grouse in the state, both rough and spruce or sharptail.
Is that something that has really, do you know, Jake, over the last few years, kind of like a decline in population? Is that something that's really sparked in the last few years? Do you know?
I don't know all the numbers when it comes to that. I just know, it has. I mean, you could say that about deer hunting too, but it's not what it used to be 20 years ago, or not what it used to be 40 years ago. But I do know they decrease. They do a lot of studies and counts in the spring and such. And I do know there's some years where their numbers are up. Those are usually after mild winters and stuff like that. But from an overall trend, 5, 10, 15, 20 years, I just think it's just on the decline versus the incline.
Okay. Yeah. No, come to think of it, when I was younger, I would, I don't hear as many fake deer when I'm bow hunting anymore. When that grouse is walking through and you think it's a deer, it's like, oh no, it's just a grouse. So I haven't heard that as much.
I don't know. Yeah, I haven't made a concerted effort to get out in a couple of years. Yeah, I used to go up north a lot and spend weeks or a week at a time grouse hunting. But I mean, I still see them. I still hear them when I'm turkey hunting. They're obviously around. It's just with a specialized thing like a sharp-tailed grouse. It's whether we have a season with a few permits or not. I think that's going to be the norm. I don't see that anytime soon coming back to just like a general open season.
Mm-hmm. Right. Man, anything else before I let you go before the Memorial Day weekend, Jake, that you want to throw out there?
No, I think I'll get my quick plug in for the regulations. Really sit down and read them before you go out, or especially like the online ones, because the online ones can either get out if they're not printed yet sooner, or they can update them throughout the year, like if laws change. The online ones you can update. Obviously you can't update paper ones, but just really make sure to get those machines registered, to get trail passes if you need it, get the boats registered, have your life jackets, have life jackets that actually work and fit you. Get your licenses now, because I mean, like you mentioned, it's Memorial Day weekend. All the wardens are going to be out. Tons of sheriff's deputies are going to be out. The feds are going to be patrolling. Everyone's going to be out. So if you're not in compliance, you're going to get stopped. So it makes sense to just take care of it now. And spend $20 or $30 on a registration instead of $300 at the end of it all. So I would just strongly encourage that, and to always read the regs and have fun with it.
All right, good stuff there, Jake. We appreciate it. Be safe this weekend, and we'll catch up with you again next week, bud.
Appreciate it. You have a good one, too.
You got it. There you go. There's Jake Boakes, Conservation Warden for the state of Wisconsin. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be back to wrap up the third hour coming up after these quick words. When it comes to quality meat in Eau Claire, there's one name that locals trust. That's Mike's Star Market. From hand-cut steaks and fresh ground beef to homemade brats and specialty items, everything is prepared with care and packed with flavor. You planning a cookout or maybe filling the freezer? Maybe you're getting set for some Memorial Day weekend barbecuing and grilling out. Head on over to Mike's Star Market because they've got you covered. Stop on in today and taste the difference. Mike's Star Market, your hometown butcher shop in Eau Claire. Got about 10 minutes left to the top of the hour. Then we'll catch up with Craig Toyson, owner of the Eau Claire Express, as we get set for the Eau Claire Express season. That will begin on Monday. So we'll kick off our weekly chats with a member from the Eau Claire Express. We've got more baseball talk coming your way, too. Brew Crew have the off day today as they get set for a series against the Dodgers starting tomorrow. We'll throw a little more football talk. Don't forget it is a Takeover Thursday, so if you have a topic in mind that you would like to have us discuss and throw out to the rest of the listeners, please send it on over if we like it. We'll talk about it. So text that on over again, 715-830-1912. In case anybody is all about this, apparently. Oh, no, never mind. Oh, yeah. Joey Chestnut's competing in the July 4th hot dog eating contest while on probation. I don't get into that. Do you get into it? I don't know. That makes me sick watching that.
Yeah.
No, thank you. No, thank you. But get a couple, more people saying they are going to be following along with Aaron Rodgers this season. So don't have names to go with those texters, so I'll just say we got a couple people saying that they will. So, a lot of people saying bringing up the Boston trade too with the Brewers, kind of what we were talking a little bit about earlier too, which I think is going to be brought up for the rest of the season, depending on how everything kind of still goes. And obviously Kyle Harrison being a big part of that. Don't forget about the Shane Druin part of it too, because he has been a big-time piece in that bullpen. So Hamilton, but like you said, Hamilton for Durbin was already maybe a win. And I don't know, maybe Durbin plays better if he's still with the Brewers. I don't know if it's market or style system, whatever the case may be. I don't know. But right now we can just base it off of numbers. And, well, who would you rather have on your team? The bunting David Hamilton that gets you little leaguer home runs, or Caleb Durbin? Probably Hamilton right now, right?
Yeah.
If you just base it off of numbers. Who do you think has been the biggest, in the next few minutes here, the biggest unsung hero for the Brewers this year? So it can't be Miz. Can't be Terang. Can't be Contreras. Is it Jake Bauers?
Probably.
Pitcher, who would you go? Ashby?
I feel like he can't really be because he's 7-0.
Mm-hmm. 8-0 now, I think.
8-0.
Yeah. DL Hall? Shane Druin? I think position player right now, it's got to be Bauers.
Yeah. I think Bauers for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, Chad Patrick maybe.
Yeah.
He was good at starting. He's been good out of the bullpen. 2-2 with the 2.72 ERA.
I'll be honest, that 2.72 ERA surprises me because I thought it would be a little higher. I don't know why I had that in my mind. Maybe it's because he got demoted from a starter to bullpen. You kind of have it in your mind, oh, he must have been really bad. And 2.72, I'll take that.
Yeah.
I know it's only 39 innings pitched, a little over 39, but still, I'd take that. From a long relief bullpen, can give you some starts, that versatility that he brings to the table. Yeah, I could see that. Chad Patrick's kind of the do-all type of pitcher for this team.
It's still incredible that DL Hall has the
A
best
1.54
ERA on this team.
Yeah. In 20 games, too. I think that one really gets underappreciated.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people realize how valuable he has been for this team. And maybe it's because it does get overshadowed a little bit from Aaron Ashby because Ashby has the wins.
Yeah.
If DL Hall had those 8 wins along with that 1.54 ERA, then I think it gets noticed more. But I think it gets a little overshadowed from what Ashby has been doing out of the pen and even what Chad Patrick recently has been doing out of the pen. But DL Hall's another guy that can give you a quick start or give you long relief because he used to be a starter too. Yeah, I honestly might go DL Hall just because you don't hear that talk a whole lot.
Yeah. And again, 1.54 ERA, and he's pitched almost the amount of innings as Ashby.
Mm-hmm.
So he's pitched a lot. No decisions in every game, 0-0. So
Yeah, a lot of people talk about Aaron Ashby, was he getting overused and that, but and I know he's pitched 2 more games, but look at the innings, like you said. Aaron Ashby's got 29 and 2/3 innings pitched, and okay, Hall's got 23 and 1. It's not that couple games worth of, Yeah, I think I might go with D.L. Hall. How do you view the Memorial Day benchmark?
It's kind of, you can start looking at the standings.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of mean something. It's still really early. I guess really early is relative because we've played a quarter of the season, but it's hard because anything can happen between now and July. Anything. So
we've seen teams go on those second half runs
Yeah.
and make those playoff runs.
I mean, the Brewers at this point were, I think, 26-26 or something like that, and then they went on their incredible run. So it's still, anything can happen. But I kind of start looking at the standings a little bit, still not fully focused on that, but start taking a peek every once in a while.
I think player-wise, too, for a good chunk of them, might be able to get a good sense.
Yeah.
Maybe more so from a pitching side of things. Because, again, I don't think Jake Bauers is going to finish the season hitting close to 300. I'd love it. I think that'd be awesome, but I think odds are probably not. And we can't factor in injuries. We can't forecast how that's going to play out and that. But I think for some, maybe more so from a pitching standpoint, we can kind of know who is or what to expect from them, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
A little bit.
When do you think it starts for a position player?
I think from an offensive standpoint, maybe it's some position players. It's just so again, I keep using Jake Bauers as the example because I don't think he's going to be. But Joey Ortiz, do I feel like he's going to turn around? No, but it's like Jake Bauers. I don't feel like he's going to continue to hit 291 and an 860. Bryce Terang, I feel like can continue to do that.
See, the thing with Jake Bauers is I feel like he's so up and down.
That's the thing.
So, like, he may end at 280 just because he's going to go 0 for 10 at one point and then going to go 6 for 10 at
because he's already matched or surpassed his numbers all season from last year. Like home runs, I think he's got the same amount from last year. Hits, he's tied or right there already. That's what the crazy thing. And I know he's maybe getting a little bit more opportunities here, but he's also playing really well. And he's got 10 doubles for crying out loud too. I can't be calling Contreras the doubles machine. It's Jake Bauers and Bryce Terang as the doubles machines. So, all right, we got 30 seconds to the shot clock. So we'll head into our news updates. We'll talk some more baseball with Craig Toyson from the Eau Claire Express. We'll kick off that series. And then plenty more baseball talk coming up in the final hour. But continue to send us your Takeover Thursday topics, questions, all that good stuff. We'll be right back after these quick words. All right, final hour kicking off right now on this Thursday morning of May 21st. Thanks for hanging out with us and making us a part of your Friday Eve. Coming up, we'll get back to some more, a little more baseball Brewers talk and that. Brewers have the off day today before welcoming the Dodgers to American Family Field in a 3-game series starting tomorrow. Twins also picked up a win yesterday. They have the off day before they'll be taking on the Boston Red Sox. We'll get back to some more of your texts and comments on the video stream. But we're kicking off this hour, kicking off our Eau Claire Express weekly chats. And with Memorial Day, because usually going forward we're going to have our catch-ups on Monday, but Memorial Day on Monday and then the season opener, probably a little busy getting set for the game on Monday and that. So joining us in studio is owner Craig Toyson.
Yeah, you could have me on Monday, but it'll just be the sound of me breathing in
You're
and out
right,
of a
exactly.
paper bag, hyperventilating of everything that's got to be done. So
Well,
thanks for having me.
You got it. How many years now for
This will be our fifth season. Yeah, the Express, this is
Holy
season
moly.
21, I believe, right?
Yeah.
So crazy.
5 years already for you? It's flying on by.
I know. Yeah, it's flying by.
Wow.
Yeah.
Still feel like
the gray hair keeps getting more and more, and
But does it feel like season's almost here, just days away?
the weather has not made it feel that way. That's for sure. Because I joked sunburn on a baseball game Saturday and long underwear on Tuesday night. Last night was a little bit nicer for baseball, but no, so it doesn't feel like it weather-wise, but you can start to feel that itch kind of come around again in January, and then February comes around, March, and now we're there. I'm ready now as the youth seasons kind of start to wrap up the league play and then high school seasons start to wrap up. It's it's time. So.
Exactly. Yeah. I know we had you on a little while ago. You've got a new GM. You've got some new dugouts this year too. So that's exciting to kind of see some new things. For this year
I
too.
think if you ask the guys at North and Memorial and the teams that have come in, the Chippewa Falls players that have come in as an away team, or Emmanuel Lutheran, I know, plays games there. So ask those guys what they think of the dugouts. I think you'll hear pretty good feedback. And I've told Dale, I've told Coach Jack Donahue that obviously pay is going to go down this year now that you're in the shade all summer. It's a lot more enjoyable experience because they're fantastic dugouts. I mean, they were designed off of what a major league dugout is. So I mean, much better viewing, much more comfortable, protected from the elements, safer dugouts. So they're awesome designs. So
definitely. So how's Jake been doing on the job here, getting set for the year too? So,
He's good. It's been good to see him get settled in, and interns started on Monday, and some of our season-long staff that works us a little bit more full-time during the season started as well a week ago. So it's been great to have everybody start to get there and really start to see the collaboration. Because I know, Monday he would have felt the same way that I am going to feel on Monday, this coming Monday, of just like, oh my God, we have so much to get done. We're never going to get this done in time. And now, a couple days in, you see how quickly those interns learn to swim and what they can accomplish. It's pretty awesome.
And I mean, the players coming in right away this weekend too. There's really not any breathing room for that.
No, practice Saturday night at 6:30. So I've got 2 players coming to my house as well. So excited to get them. I think one's coming Friday night, and then the other's coming Saturday during the day. So it'll be fun to have them get settled in and get moved in. Yeah,
and I know you got for coming over to the team. We got even some local players coming back too.
Some
Bob
local returning players, and then Warren Bovey from Cadott is coming to play for us this year from the University of St. Thomas. So pretty cool to see that happen. Excited to see him get a chance. And it's always awesome to see the hometown guys, just because their friends are coming, their families coming, and then just people who've watched them play growing up. So it's always cool to see that stuff.
And that when they were kids, they were probably watching Express games too, and now they get to suit up and play for them.
Can't wait like the night we have like the Cadott Little League there. To see that. So that's gonna be awesome.
And I know that's you brought the Little League, and it's a little bit different this year too, because I know for our team it's going to be coming up on the 31st, but it's the organization as a whole too. So you're gonna have a lot of teams there too. So that's going to be really fun.
That was an idea of Dale's in the off season here. We've been really glad to jump on that, and what's been great is the Little Leagues have jumped on it as well. So we always have had a team of the night in the past, and that's been fun. They get out in the field and do stuff. But we also want to promote Little League as a whole and organizations as a whole. So, all of Eau Claire baseball, the whole organization is coming, the whole Elk Mound, the whole, Seymour, the whole
Yep.
National Falls,
Nationals and-
Halley, Nash. Yeah, I mean
Yep.
the whole organization has their night.
Yep.
So that's really cool to see that they can come out as a group, and that's kind of the fun thing because you have siblings in the same leagues and things
Yep.
like that. So
Exactly.
and it's not just baseball; it's softball programs too. So awesome to get everybody involved.
Absolutely. I want to go off the path here for a little bit, just because I want to get your thoughts on this. The Northwoods League getting a team for the Field of Dreams.
Yeah.
That's a cool thing, is it?
It's been talked about for a while, and we are very excited. The All-Star Game is there this year, so I am going to make my way down for that. I was there a couple years ago with my older son when he played a tournament down there, and my younger son is playing a tournament down there now this summer as well. And we're going to detour down to Copeland Park where lacrosse plays because my older son plays there the night before, so then we can cut our drive in half. But Field of Dreams has been obviously kind of the mecca of baseball, at least in the Midwest, for ever since the movie came out in 88, 89, whenever it was. And it's a special place, not just for baseball fans, but for families and the connection between fathers and sons down there. So to have a team down there full time is great. And I can't wait to be down there again with my sons and have a chance to play catch again on that field, because it's one of the more moving experiences you can have as a father. So to have all these people come in, because there's tournaments down there that they have added so many little league fields and so many full size fields down there that they have just a huge complex. The farm itself is still there and special, but an amazing major league field. So excited to get down there and check it out again and see what that looks like all finished, because it's been a couple years since I've been there, but we'll see. Yeah. So it sounds like the Rochester team might be moving that direction.
Okay.
We'll see how it all shapes up, but great ownership group. So I'm excited to work with them.
Yeah. That's definitely on my bucket list. I want to take Hudson down there and
It's
just
worth
play
the travel,
catch.
yeah.
Yeah. Every time I tune on Field of Dreams, I feel like when I was younger compared to what it is now, the movie and the feeling is completely different now that you have a son and all that.
Yep.
So it's
it's one of those. It's been out so long. You view it as a child first, and you see it from that perspective, and then as you grow older and feel those feelings as a father, it's a movie that moves with you through the course of your life.
Yep. And it's cool when Hudson's like, so was Shoeless Joe Jackson a real player, Dad? Then you get to tell the story and all that stuff too. So it's
not only was he real, Moonlight Graham was real too.
Yep.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's really cool. So, but your season kicks off Monday. You got the Fond du Lac coming to town.
Yeah, the Dock Spiders have not played them in a long time. Not since I've been involved, if ever. So. Excited to have some more Wisconsin teams come this direction, and we can go play them. It's something we've talked about at a league level for quite a while, that we've got rivals built in right here in the state if we can play them, and we're right on the eastern edge of that Great Plains division, and they're kind of on the Wausau's on that western edge of the Great Lakes division. So glad to have some crossover games, playing Fond du Lac this year, playing Wausau, playing Madison, but glad to have Fond du Lac come in right away this year.
Yeah, definitely. So first two games, Monday, Tuesday. If you stop by, it's Midwest Family Broadcasting Night. Got the Magnet schedules, which I'm holding one right here. Sweet designs on there too. I like the new colors; they really pop up from last year.
You're two of those. I love them. Still loving them. So.
Yeah, I see the Facebook posts and such with some swag in that, and you know me about swag, so
That's
definitely gonna have to check that out and that. So then you hit the road to Rochester, Thunder Bay right away early on for a couple games.
Go visit the guys up north right away.
Yep. I don't know. Is it you don't have time to go check out a Blue Jays game with Dalton or anything up there? Probably.
I'm fortunate this year. I have a business trip I have to take out to Boston for the car dealership here in June, and Toronto happens to be playing the Red Sox at that time. So
nice.
I've told my brother, I hope you're okay that we're going to we're going to go to a Red Sox game because I'm going to drag you along. So,
right.
Yeah. So I get to go do that. So
that's really cool. Yeah. So I mean, you've had a lot of Express alum this year so far, making some impacts in Major League too. Griffin Jackson, Dalton, of course, too. So that's got to be fun to see.
It's just fun to see the Northwoods League as a whole when you look at what Louis Varlin's done and Pete Alonso continues to do. And, Weatherholt with St. Louis. I mean, there's just been a lot of impact players that have come out of this league, whether it's been with Express guys or just league wide.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Looking at end of May and the June schedule too, you only got one built-in off day there, so there's a lot of baseball to be played. Just June 12th right now is your off day. So, what kind of jumps out to you from your seat when you look at that schedule for end of May and the full month of June?
Yeah, it's 2 quick home games and then on the road the rest of May until we come back next Sunday, the 31st. So it's nice to kind of get a couple games under our belt just as an organization to make sure we're getting our systems down. That first game is always a tough one because we have a huge crowd always, and it's a blast. But everyone's new in their position. Not everybody, but a lot of people are new in their position. So we always say, anyone putting on an event, as long as the customers have a good time, that's all that matters at the end of the day. We'll figure the rest of it out. So nice to get that stuff done right away so we can have that experience, and then the team goes on the road. And I always like to have an early road trip with the players because nothing bonds a team together like a road trip. So that'll be the cool thing, and we'll start to see some more of the full-time guys, come in as the summer starts up here. But a road trip to start things off, especially if you can get a couple wins under your belt, goes a long ways to building a great team for the summer because there's no sport that requires chemistry like baseball. There's hitting is as contagious as the hantavirus,
Right. Yeah. Right. So, looking at we've seen some of the players kind of coming in. We've talked a little bit about it with some of the local ones and such. And obviously, we're probably going to be waiting for more players until their collegiate seasons are done. But from the players that are coming in, what can you tell us about it? What, maybe a little bit of a scouting report. How excited are you about the potential for some of these kids?
We don't get a lot of high school players in the Northwoods League. We had one last year that came played for us out of Arizona named Mikey Munoz. Excited to have him back. Young guy, and you'd never guess, this guy's a high-level college baseball player when you see him because he's just a young, unassuming, and I'm going to say kid because he's 18 years old, but cannon for an arm behind the plate. So excited to have him back for a second year. And just a really nice kid. His host mom speaks just glowingly about what a nice kid he is. So excited to see him back behind the dish again. And then we got some other high school kids coming in. We've got Jace Madzinski coming from Hudson. I think we'll get a chance to see him for a little while before he gets. I think he's going to get drafted here pretty quickly. So
wow.
He is a special talent, and anybody who's got a chance to watch any Big Rivers games this year, he is an amazing player. Headed to Auburn next year to play baseball, again, assuming the draft numbers don't come too high for him.
Right.
But he's great. And then we always have our relationship with Stanford, so we have Stanford guys coming across. They always are impact players. One of our players last year, J.J. Moran's having a great year for Stanford. So we always have to see kind of who those guys are going to be when they come in. But you can go watch any Stanford game and know you're going to see Express guys up and down the lineup, so we appreciate that relationship.
Intern Carter sitting there nodding too, so he must have broadcasted some of his games.
He was the Prep Report Player of the Month nationally last month. That's how significant of an athlete he is, and if you watch him on the basketball court too, he takes great pride in slamming it down in front of the team. So
that's awesome.
A good competitor.
I gotta bring this up too because this was, it's been announced and such, but even like concerts going on at Carson Park. I know I had texted you when I was watching a Brewers game. I'm like, hey, Bonavere's on there talking about Express Baseball and such on there too. So that's
and he was at the ballpark yesterday for a press conference talking about what his feelings for the festival are and why he chose Carson Park. So sure appreciate that relationship. I've known Justin. We were kind of in matching social groups for a while when we were younger, and he's just a good man and just a great ambassador for the city of Eau Claire and all that Eau Claire encompasses. And it's cool to have that crossover between sports and music, and he's really one who has embraced sports throughout his life as well as being a phenomenally talented musician. So I'm really excited to see that come together. I appreciate that he loves the history of Carson Park and how special that grounds is. Not just the stadium, but the whole park as a whole. It's a special place, and I'm excited for people to be able to come see that here in July, and we're glad to be a small part of it. And it took work on our part to get our schedule opened up to make sure it could happen, because a festival won't be 2 days, but it's 10 days, that you need to have spacing to have this happen. So it changed our schedule quite a bit, but we want to do what we can to make the summer as good as we can for Eau Claire.
Yeah, definitely. You mentioned the interns. I see on Facebook that you guys announced. Looks like a lot of local kiddos
we had
too,
some great local applicants this year, and I think that's a real testament to what goes on here in Eau Claire and Stout and River Falls. And we've got great universities, creating great workers in the workforce. That when they get into an interview and go toe-to-toe with anybody nationally, we're going to love to choose local people.
Right. And even a new assistant GM and community engagement coordinator. So lots of new faces coming over.
Some new faces, but Northwoods League experience definitely. And Brenna worked with us last year, was an intern. So it's cool to see people, get that experience, then come back to the organization. And then, the ultimate goal is they spread their wings and go national, do something else. Our video production intern is working for the Miami Heat this year. So it's cool to see, like I said, the stuff that they do. And other video production interns are working at the ESPN now. And we got interns with the Minnesota Twins. I think some with the New York Mets that are now with them. So it's awesome. It's a stepping stone.
Absolutely. So Whiffley Zone back this year too.
Whiffley Zone is back. Yeah. So got some things to figure out there, what we're doing with some building stuff. But the bar will be back. We actually have a full liquor license this year, so that is a change from what we had in the past. We'll be serving cut water out there as an available product. That'll also be on the fan deck. It changes the ticket use a little bit, but that's a nice addition out there. We serve an ice cream out in the Whipway Zone again, and we continue to grow that area and make that more of a hangout crowd out there. And the nice thing, great view of the video board.
Yep.
And the sun is not shining right on you, which I'm very aware of every time I walk out to the fan deck.
Exactly. Anything else new that you want to kind of throw out there
we've
for
worked hard
listeners?
with the video board. With the WMB Financial Video Board, we've got a live camera this year, so we will be able to be going around the ballpark and shooting live footage, being up on the video board. So I've joked to people, it's 9 innings of kiss cam. I hope
I was
you're
just
ready
gonna
for
say,
it. We're making it as awkward as possible. Yeah,
That's awesome.
sons
So,
and moms just really make the kids uncomfortable. So
Kids are gonna love that,
all
yeah.
sorts of stuff. So it'll be cool.
oh, kids are going to love that as soon as they're on there. Heck yeah, especially
Yeah.
when it's the kids' day.
Absolutely,
That's going to be a good one.
Yep.
So, tickets. What's the best way? I always want to bring this up every year, just you know, for everybody listening. What is the best way to get tickets?
Yep. Make sure if you are buying online, you are going to eauclairexpress.com or the Northwoods League website. It happens every year where a third-party site will buy our tickets and then sell them to somebody, and it's at a highly marked up rate. eauclairexpress.com is our website. Make sure you're going to them. You can always call our office or buy them on the same day as the game. But if you're buying them online, it's got to be eauclairexpress.com.
And just because this will be the first time we get to chat with you, until next time with your upcoming home games, of course, the Magnet schedule. You got Faith Night presented by Regis Catholic Schools in partnership with Collective Arts, too. So that's coming up on Sunday's game.
Yeah.
So, and then looking ahead, June 10th, Cancer Survivors Night presented by Mayo Clinic Health Systems. And then the Can Koozie giveaway on June 14th.
Yeah.
So,
And then we also have Tyler's Amazing Balancing Act on June 17th.
always popular.
Which,
Yep.
we have him coming for a day-night doubleheader, so it'll be fun to have him in the day for Kids Day and then coming back that evening as well. So.
And something new that we're going to be doing here, too, is the Tailgate Thursdays for a few of our games. So put that on the docket, the first one, June 11th. I'll be over there with the Toyson Ford Mobile Man Cave and doing a little tailgating right before the game. So
Perfect.
it should be a lot of fun, too.
Absolutely.
So looking forward to that. All right, what's fifth year, man? What's do you have goals? What are you
We need
looking
to get back in
forward
the
to?
playoffs. A little bit of a drought there, so pressure's on Dale. We got to get back in the playoffs. But, I just want to keep growing the organization, and I think this year we've really put an emphasis on community involvement. So that's been a lot of fun to work with some organizations outside of our own organization on how we can better the city of Eau Claire and better people's lives here. And I think the Little League stuff's been a great expansion of how we can sponsor those and be a part of things, and different nonprofits coming to games looking for ways to raise awareness, to raise funds. So excited for that kind of stuff. But I love going to games, not only watching the baseball, but just walking around the stadium and talking to people. So excited to get back and hanging out with 1,500 of my favorite people every night.
I love the kids' interactions with the players and chasing down the foul balls and that the race to get the foul ball.
Yeah, post game, watching players sign autographs for kids along the dugout there is one of my favorite parts of it. Which is awesome.
Absolutely. Well, and reminder, too, now that we are in a season every week, we've got the All Aboard, the Eau Claire Express podcast. So episodes will be up weekly. That is available wherever you get your podcasts, like Apple or Spotify. So, Craig, thanks for joining us this morning and hanging out and previewing the upcoming season. It's just we're a couple days away, man.
Yeah,
so,
summer is here. That's the beauty of it.
Exactly. So best of luck. Looking forward to hanging out at the ballpark with you quite a bit this summer, man.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You got it. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Back with plenty more coming up after these few words. Coming up tomorrow at the Brewing Project in downtown Eau Claire is the 715 Hawaiian Shirt Hullabaloo. 5 p.m. Brewing Project Hawaiian Shirt Party summer kickoff. There's going to be some food trucks over there. Starts at 5 p.m. until dark. And the Torch Sisters are going to be there at dusk for a special fire dance. So come hungry, because Rolling Smoke will be serving up some pulled Hawaiian pulled pork, while Smokescreen, El Ganco, and Sweet Roll Truck will be bringing out plenty to chomp on as well. Good food, cold drinks, and a Hawaiian shirt party that you do not want to miss. Again, that is happening tomorrow night, Friday, 5 p.m. till dark at the Brewing Project in Eau Claire. Intern, we going to see you at Carson Park for some Express games this summer?
Probably a couple.
Attaboy. So, you know about the one kid from Hudson? Did you broadcast one of his games?
I haven't.
Okay.
But he is. So he won Player of the Month, like he said, for prep baseball in April. He hit 605 with a 2.088 OPS, 27 RBI, and 8 home runs in 1 month. He's committed to Auburn, likely going to get drafted in the second round of the draft. This kid's insane.
Wow.
And I haven't seen him in person, but Memorial went up to Hudson, and Alex Johnson threw an incredible game, 6 innings. Memorial's up 1-0, bottom of the 7th, and this kid hit a walk-off grand slam. So.
Wow. So he's good.
Very.
It's good. So,
yeah, one of the best prospects Wisconsin's had in a long time.
That's amazing. So, wow. All right. This adds a little bit more excitement to it, too. So, whew. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, so we were talking a little bit about Rogers and such. And there's going to be a time for this and that, but Lance Zierlein, he's one of the guys that I really follow his work a lot. He, NFL.com, so when you get set for the draft and you look at those draft profiles on NFL.com, Lance is the one who does all that. And he just tweeted this out. Aaron Rodgers is the greatest overall thrower of the football I have ever seen. There are others, but his combination of zip, release quickness, accuracy, touch, placement, spatial awareness, arm angles, off-platform talent, and throwing talent on the move separate him. This is where I think then we get into this whole GOAT conversation, where, again, it defines how do you find the greatest quarterback of all time? Because you hear, like, I respect the heck out of his Lance, because this dude knows what and I think you would ask a lot of people, is Aaron Rodgers the most talented quarterback you've seen? I think a lot of people would say yes. Not everybody, but a lot of people would say yes. But again, it goes to so for some people might say, well, doesn't that mean he's the best quarterback? Is he the greatest quarterback of all time? And again, I think that's why we always have this debate, because for everybody it might be a little bit different. Should the greatest be the physically most athletic, gifted quarterback, or does championships matter? And how much should championships matter? Because Tom Brady obviously is the GOAT for many, if not the majority, because of the rings. But if you take away the rings and you put Rodgers and Brady next to each other, who are you picking? You're probably picking Rodgers, right?
Yeah.
That's why, to me, the whole GOAT and greatest conversation debate to me is always so interesting, because it's so dependent on what the individual person, how they define GOAT, like how much of each element do you put more of an emphasis on, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, Bart Starr's got 5 championships. Bart Starr wasn't the most athletic quarterback either. So for some people, they may say Aaron's the best because physically most athletic quarterback they've ever seen. Some will go straight up championships, and that's fine. But that's why, to me, it's always kind of interesting to get everybody's opinion on it, because it kind of just like, okay, that's what you value more, or you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Yeah, I think that, in my opinion, Aaron Rodgers is the most talented thrower we have ever seen in the NFL. But I don't think he's the greatest of all time because, like you said, the championships. And I think... So obviously Brady had incredible defenses when he won the Super Bowls and had a very talented offense with James White and Rob Gronkowski and Julian Edelman and all those guys, Danny Amendola. But I think you can't just take away what he did. And like for me, it's somewhere in the middle of most talented of all time and most rings. I think you have to be in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And Rodgers' one isn't enough. He doesn't have enough. He should have had more in Green Bay, and he didn't. So, in my opinion, he can't be the greatest of all time, but he's definitely the most gifted player of all time.
This is where I'm going to play devil's advocate comes in. And I'm not saying I agree with it, but I like to go different sides. If we use the narrative that football is the ultimate team sport, is it Aaron Rodgers' fault he only has one?
So here's where, as a Packer fan, I would like to point to the NFC Championship game.
Mm-hmm.
And we can put that on Kevin King because we all know he decided not to play. But Aaron Rodgers at the end of playoff games liked to focus on a particular player, and it cost us several times.
Yep.
The one I can think of is 13-10 loss to the 49ers.
Alan Lazard was wide open, and he went to Devontae Adams. Yep.
A game we never should have lost, and frankly, quite embarrassing that we only scored 10 points.
Mm-hmm.
And so it is a team game, but in my personal opinion, our team has done enough to allow us to have a chance at the end, and then that's where you see the quarterback take over. That's where you see Tom Brady go win the rings. Aaron Rodgers never really did that. He did that in 2010. Our defense got him a stop, and he went and put it away. He hasn't done that ever since, and Tom Brady did. And so that's kind of the difference I see.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a good point. You look at, I think you can make the case that some of Rodgers' Packers teams, from a talent perspective, might have been more talented than some of those Patriots, Tom Brady's teams, right? Especially from a playmaking standpoint, receivers. Mm-hmm. Yes, Gronk, Hall of Famer, Edelman, really good. But you're talking Devontae. You're talking some, like from a group as a whole, there was some really good ones. Jordy, Devontae, Randall Cobb, all together. And that. The one play that bugs me the most about that 49ers one, though, is why did Aaron Jones decide to cut in instead of going straight or going out? Like, why, dude? Why did you do that, man? Because, oh, no.
Yep.
Oh, that one just bugs me. That one, that's a big one. I'm like, why did you just keep running?
But, I mean, all throughout Rodgers' career, onside kick. Just field the onside kick, and we're in a Super Bowl. And it's like, that's not Rodgers' fault, but at the same time, if that was Brady, would it be that close?
Yeah.
And we'll never know.
Yep.
You can't really compare the talent because it was different times, but it's got to be, for me, it's somewhere in the middle between rings and talent.
That's why I always joke I want to come up with that formula. Like Pro Football Focus has grades, and all. I want to come up with the formula that determines who's the GOAT.
Yeah.
And it takes little bits here
Earn
and
some
there.
money.
Right, yeah. It's like I could come up with it, and everybody would, not everybody, but some people are like, oh, okay, there's a formula. Yeah, what are you going to do? Like, it's my formula. You whatever. It's my numbers that I came up with. I could sell it.
It's like Moneyball, right?
Yeah,
Write a book.
Yeah, exactly. Pro Football Focus, they came up with their own formula. I can come up with ours. I just don't want to do that because I hate math. So, but all right, let's take a quick break. And I just think that's kind of it's a fascinating discussion between talent and numbers, right? It's talent and numbers. Because, man, I could really go in the weeds here then. Eli Manning's got 2 Super Bowls, but he's not in the Hall of Fame, but he's not the most talented. But you know what it's just you could go so many different directions in this thing. Phillip Rivers might be in the Hall of Fame before Eli Manning, and he doesn't have a ring.
Huh?
Yeah,
Bill Belichick's not in the Hall of Fame.
That's that too. Yeah. Wow. All right. We'll take a quick break and be back with more after these few words. Click on that. What's that? There's a new ace atop the list. Yeah, well, I got to see who this starting pitching power rank. Christopher Sanchez is one. Okay, that's cute. Okay, Jacob Mizorowski's number 2. All right. Just want to make sure that he's at least up there. Moved up from 7 to 2. Okay. Says Sanchez isn't the only hurler yet to be scored upon this month. Mizorowski touts the third longest scoreless inning streak in the majors at 24 1/3. Following 6 spotless innings at Wrigley Field on Tuesday, the flame-throwing righty leads the majors with 88 strikeouts and a 39.3% strikeout rate. He's dominating with pure heat. His average fastball velocity is up to 99.7 miles per hour. And as MLB.com's Mike Petrillo explored earlier this week, the Miz may very well be the hardest-throwing starting pitcher to ever live. Among the absurdities, Mizorowski has thrown 254 pitches, 100-plus miles per hour. The second and third-place finishers on that list have just thrown 265 pitches, 100 miles per hour combined. That's just... I'm not a doctor. I'm going to try to ask this to Dr. Crow tomorrow. Like, through looking at those numbers, for an orthopedic person, how concerned would he be this can't be normal.
No.
That can't be normal. The wear on that arm, right? I mean, and I think this is the other part though too. A lot of it does come from lower body. If you pitch properly, a lot of your stuff is going to come from your lower body. But still, that's got to be a lot of torque on that thing. Yeah. What's the rest of the list look like? Okay, Cam from the Yankees, Shohei. Okay, cool. Paul Skeens 5. That's okay. Chris Sale 6. Come on, where's Kyle Harrison? Chase Burns, all right. Zach Wheeler, whatever. Dylan Cease, bogus.
I'm surprised Davis Martin is 10.
Yeah. All right, well, Kyle Harrison will get his due. He keeps up with this. Mm-hmm. He'll get his due, for sure. For sure. I don't think Kyle Harrison, somebody had asked, is he eligible for Rookie of the Year? I'm not sure. Maybe? I don't. I'm not. Let me see if I can find the NL Rookie of the Year odds. Well, he's not even up there on odds, but I'm not sure. Not eligible. He officially exceeded. Okay, during the 2024. Jeez. He made his LB. Okay.
He pitched 124 1/3 innings in 24.
All right. Okay. He seems like he should be a rookie.
He does.
But he pitched 124 innings, 24 starts in 2024. The Giants, right? Yeah. What were his stats that year? Because he seems like he should just be this newcomer. All right. Next one, the baseball reference. There you go. Oh, that's minor league, though. Man, they don't even... See, it's even hard to find. Kyle Harrison. There we go. Maybe go back to 2024. Can we switch? Man. All right. How about click on this? There we go. 2024. So 24 games, 4.56 ERA, 7-7. All right. I'll be honest. That surprises me. I did not know he pitched for. We knew he was with the Giants for a little bit, but 124. Okay. Well, again, pitching lab for the Brewers doing wonders to resurrect some careers. Jeez. Bottle that juice, whatever it is that they've got over there, and lock it up. Don't sell it. Lock it up. Because whatever they did with Quinn Priester last year, whatever they're doing with Kyle Harrison this year, lock it up. And don't give it away. That's the secret. Put it in the book of secrets with all the alien info and JFK stuff. That's top secrets. Man. All right, there's your answer. No, he's not eligible. Not eligible. Because I know Logan Henderson before the season was getting talked about as some potential Rookie of the Year, but he's not going to get
unless he starts to pitch more.
Yeah. And so the NL just Rookie of the Year odds. I think Connor's up there. All right, this was 3 days ago from ESPN, the odds tracker. MVPs are no surprise. Judge and Ohtani. AL Rookie of the Year or NL. Okay, Nolan McLean. That makes sense. I was wondering where Connor was. Connor Griffin is on there as third. Sal Stewart's fourth. Logan Henderson does have 60-1 odds. So, hey, it's something.
If he gets innings, he could win it.
You think so?
He's just got to get innings. I think next year he could be the best 3 option in the MLB.
There's a lot of representation in the NL Central here when you kind of look at it too, because you got JJ from the Cardinals, you got Connor on there too from the Pirates, and then Stewart from the Reds. A lot of young talent in the NL Central going forward. Did I see? Yeah, O'Neal Cruz is an MVP candidate or an MVP favorite. I mean, 10 home runs and 259, but did we forget about opening day and his play in the outfield too? That was atrocious. But Kyle Schwarber, this dude, 20 home runs already. Kyle Schwarber is such a weird player for me. Leadoff hitter, power hitter, crappy average, but OPS is always up there.
And no defense.
Yeah, that is such a, maybe it's just my old school mindset still, but I would love Kyle Schwarber on the Brewers for a power point, but it's like you're only going to get home run or out. But, geez, this is first in home runs at 20, 7th in RBIs at 36. He is 3rd in OPS at 980, 126th in batting average at 230. Unreal. Because the talk's like 60-some home runs for him this year.
That's insane. Brewers may not get to 60 home runs this year.
Okay, do the Brewers get to 100 home runs this year?
No.
No?
No, I've not. No.
Don't think so?
There's still 114 games left. We're at 33. They're like bound for a game where they hit like 5.
Oof. 5 in a game?
I don't know. Brewers always seem to have one game every year where they just hit a ton.
So they hit last year. The Brewers hit 166 last year. The fewest was the Pirates at 117. 2024, fewest was the White Sox at 133.
I think they get over 100, but it's...
Do they get 120? Do we put the line at 120?
I do think they get over 120. Just
because if you do it by quarter, it's about 30 per quarter, so that's about 120.
Yeah, I do think they get over. That's a good line. 120.
Right? What is the fewest amount of home runs hit in a season? Hit by a team in a season. What do we got here? Oh, I'm not talking about the 1908. The fewest home runs hit by a Major League Baseball team in a single season is 3, achieved by the 1908 Chicago White Sox. Let's do more modern era. 79 Houston Astros, 49.
Oh, wow.
The 79 Houston Astros, 49. Wow.
The Brewers hit not enough home runs, so much so that there's an article written about it.
History says you can't score runs without power. This team is proving that wrong. Oh, that was just posted up a few minutes ago. Brewers, yeah. Look at that. Runs scored per game. Brewers have the 4th best, 5.04, 33 home runs. The 3 teams ahead of them, double the amount of home runs.
It doesn't even seem like they're scoring that many runs, though, which is interesting.
It's because it's not sexy. It's not by
true.
the home run ball. That's it. Go back up to that. So the Nationals are scoring the most runs per game, 5.58. They have 61 home runs. The Braves are next, 5.34, 69 home runs. Dodgers, 5.14, 66 home runs. Brewers, 5.04, 33. And the next team that has averaging 5 runs is the Yankees, 73 home runs. That's funny. That's awesome, actually. But doesn't that also show, hey, we know what our limits are. This is what we got to do to score runs, instead of just trying to force something and trying to, kind of get stuck in your ways. Like, analytics tells us we got to hit home runs, so we're going to try to hit home runs.
Yeah.
Do you give credit? Is this a Pat Murphy thing?
I think so. I mean,
Like, this is the guys I got. This is what we're going to do then.
I think it's just what he's been given, and he's had to adapt. And I don't think Counsell would have adapted this way. And now he's trying with the Cubs, and they don't have the roster to do it this way. So get him on, get him over, get him in is working.
You put those numbers like that. That's funny to see.
It's insane.
It also could be frustrating too, because we'll see if that plays out in the postseason again. That was a question last year in the postseason, and it sure looks like we're going to get that same question again this year. So, all right, we got to take a quick break because we're running out of time and we got to do some picks. So we'll be right back after these quick words. All right, let's jump right into it because we only got a few minutes. Let's do some picks here. Start off Game 2 of the Eastern Conference NBA Finals. Cleveland, New York. Who you got?
Knicks.
I'll go Knicks, too, to take a 2-0 lead. Montreal, Carolina, Game 1.
Carolina.
I'll go Carolina, too. Just a few baseball games. So I guess, yeah, we got time. Cleveland at Detroit.
Detroit.
I'm going to go Tigers. Pittsburgh, St. Louis.
Pittsburgh.
Please, Pittsburgh. Okay, get another win like you did last night. Help the standings a little bit. Mets, Washington.
Mets.
Yeah, I'll go Mets too. Let's do Braves and the Marlins.
Marlins.
I'm going to go Braves. Let's do Toronto and the Yankees.
Toronto.
I'll go Yankees. Athletics and the Los Angeles Angels.
Angels.
I'll go Athletics, the first place Athletics. Colorado at Arizona.
Arizona.
Yeah, I'll go Arizona too. So I'll do mine for tomorrow, but since you're out, how many wins for the Brewers against the Dodgers?
1.
You poo-poo.
Yeah, I called a sweep versus the Twins. It was 1 game short. See, I don't love their pitching. I think they bounce back and sweep the Cardinals. I'll say that right now, but I think they may struggle this weekend.
To be fair, too, every game's important, but the Cubs series is more important than the Dodgers, right? So, got that for division standings and such.
Yeah.
So if they had to throw out their best ones for the Cubs one, not that it was on purpose, it just worked out that way, but still.
They did. I do think they set it up that way because they had 2 spot starts right before
That's
the
true.
series.
Yeah.
One by Coleman Crow, the other, who was the other one? The other one
Robert Gasser.
Yeah, Gasser.
Yep.
So I think they set that up purposely for the Cubs.
And, yeah, Cubs series division games, a little bit more important.
It worked.
And, hey, who cares? You know, if we lose, if we only win 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers, we swept the Dodgers last year in regular season. How'd that work out?
Yeah, exactly.
So we can't do the same thing this year.
Yeah.
Be a little superstitious. I'd be more concerned about the Brewers if we sweep the Dodgers. I'm just let's just put that in our mindset heading into this weekend. I'd be more worried about that because it happened last year, and well, Dodgers enacted some revenge on us. Not worried about that with the Cubs, just because the Cubs don't know how to win. So that's
Wow. Yes.
I want to know from Cubs fans how are they as frustrated as what the fans sure sounded like during those games? How were those Green Bay Sox chants, by the way? How'd that work out?
Yeah.
How'd that work out? But I saw some people on Twitter trying to compare it to the World Series team, the difference between the World Series team and this team. You know, you had players like Rizzo and those guys that wouldn't, they took it really serious, wouldn't allow something like that to happen, where they were saying this team gets swept and it doesn't even look like it bothers them. It's just another game.
I think that's manager. I do. I really do. And credit to him. He's had a good career, but Council takes every game like it's the same, and it's not. These are divisional games. They matter a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. It'll be, let's say, Brewers Cubs again in the postseason, and let's say the Brewers beat the Cubs again. I'm curious to see what happens with Craig Counsell.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I would not be surprised if something is maybe a decision to be made.
Yeah.
I don't know. But all right. I only got a minute left to the top of the hour. So tomorrow we'll catch up with Dr. Crow. I'll definitely ask him about Jacob Mizorowski just to kind of get the sense of that. We'll do some local sports roundup. I know the updated softball brackets, the rest of Division 1 are out. Chippewa Falls gets a 2 seed. North was a 10 and Memorial is 11. So Brandon Berg will join us to break down the latest and greatest, and local sports baseball brackets are also out there too. You going to be doing any baseball playoff games, possibly, maybe?
A couple, yeah. Just got to throw out Memorial beat North last night. Just got to throw that out there.
Even at 1-1, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So we're a North family, so you be quiet.
Yeah, 1-0.
I only say North family because that's right now the school district that Hudson will be going to. So, but yeah, that's the crosstown over at Carson Park, 1-1. But so Brandon will break it all down for us coming your way tomorrow. All right, have a good rest of your Thursday. We'll be back at it to wrap up the week, heading into Memorial Day weekend tomorrow morning, 6 a.m., same place, same time. We'll see you then.